Good evening, wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you are on the face of this very planet. We welcome you to another seismic broadcast, another earth-shattering revelation regarding the happenings and the goings-on in the damnable zoological republic, that very contraption created by the colonialists and sustained by neo-colonialists to advance the advantage of our people, and in the process impoverishing us and rendering us hopeless as a people, as individuals, and collectively as a race. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you, because regardless of where you are domiciled on the face of this very planet, if you have access to the internet, if you have access to a transistor radio in Biafra land, if you have access to a satellite, you should and ought to be listening to this very exciting program this very evening, coming to you live and very direct. The time now in Biafra land, which is our marker, it is our home, it is our abode, is exactly 2 minutes past 7 p.m. in the evening. Therefore, wherever you are domiciled, it is the same number of minutes past the top of the hour where you are. I welcome you, and as I do so, I will very seriously encourage you to welcome other people as well. You should not be discouraged. I would not expect any of you to fall victim to the blackmail and the shenanigans of Facebook and other social media platforms. They will do all they can to frustrate us, but we are going to prevail eventually. They will never ever succeed because they are doing everything they can. Facebook in the zoo, Facebook in Nigeria is trying to frustrate the effort we are putting into this very divine mission, this very restoration of the kingdom of heaven upon the face of this very earth. And we can assure them, whereas their progenitors may have succeeded between 67 and 70 in blunting that very media age which we possess today, everything they are doing is in vain, because they can never ever succeed. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. It doesn't matter the obstacle we confront. It doesn't matter the scale of the problem that we encounter. Every blessed day we are making a very serious progressive stride towards our ultimate goal, which is the restoration of Biafra. Nothing is going to stop us. They are doing the best they can. Some of you who are listening to us live via Radio Biafra page may be experiencing difficulties, because as you're joining, they are removing people. Sometimes when you write and you post on Facebook, things are not as they used to be. Whereas you used to get hundreds of comments previously, these days you struggle to even observe 10 people commenting on your post. Those things, we are written, the algorithms, we are written to frustrate you, to think that people are not receiving this very gospel. But I can assure you that the whole world is listening. We set the pace in the zoo. The discussions that we hold on Radio Biafra, the topics that we preach about on this very platform is what dictates what happens in the damnable zoological republic. Therefore, you must not, never, ever, ever allow our enemies to get into your head, because once they do it, they have succeeded. We cannot allow them to succeed. We are live and we are direct, and the whole world is listening. It doesn't matter what Facebook does in Lagos. The entirety of humanity is glued to their listening devices at this very precise hour, listening to Radio Biafra live and direct. As usual, before we proceed, it is our duty and our responsibility to pray, to call upon Elohim, to come and lead these very proceedings this evening. because we are not going to change. It doesn't matter what our enemies does. It doesn't matter what they do. It is was because I can categorically assure you that we are very close to people viewing these very brokers, or should I say listening on Radio Biafra page. Now they have shut Radio Biafra page down. Facebook have shut it down. That we must proceed. We are not going to allow them to win. They can never ever prevail. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. We are going to continue doing this very work that Elohim agreed that we must do until the end of time. That is why it is very, very important that you have a Biafra app. Very, very important, as I say to you, that you have access to all the platforms actually broadcasting this very transmission this evening. We must pray. We must pray. Do not be downhearted, because there are difficulties. They are fighting. They are attacking us everywhere. Those who believe in terrorism, those who are financiers of terrorism, those who believe that the shedding of life, the wastage that is going on in the damnable zoological republic is a price worth paying in order to ensure that the population of black people is permanently reduced. They are the ones working against us. They are the ones working with Facebook in order to frustrate the effort we are making to save lives. What we are doing here is to save lives, and there is nothing that they can do about it. We are going to pray, and pray we shall, because our enemies are numerous. We live in very difficult and dire times. Because of that, we dedicate all that we are, all that we can ever be, unto Elohim. I am going to pray in English language, not the language of heaven, that our listeners all over the world may partake in the miracle that is to come. And that very miracle is the restoration of Biafra. Because in times like this, our Creator, our Maker, our Lord, our God, our beginning and our end, the architect and keeper of all that we could ever become, it is becoming very, very difficult, because at times like this we do not know where to begin with our prayers. Sometimes even the art of praying appear to desert us, because our hearts are sore and it is aching. Many people are helpless, especially those of them in the north, the northern Christians in the Hausa lands, bothering the caliphate, bothering the Sharia enclave in the far north. We are continuing to cry out unto the Elohim for mercy. Your children in Biafra land, the communities who are under siege in Delta and also in Bayelsa, those who are suffering, those whose communities are being ravaged without any mercy nor intervention, we are calling upon the Elohim to do so for us, that we can once again live in our land in peace, that you may heal our land, that our mothers may go to the farm and be able to get a good harvest out of it, not surrendering their sweat to the marauding Fulani terrorist headsmen. Despite the way we may feel, O Elohim, you are forever very faithful to your children, because you do not change. You are the same today as you were yesterday, and forevermore shall you be. The same power that divided the Red Sea for the children of Israel to cross from their enemy Pharaoh and his army, that broke prison chains, mine included, and opened prison doors for many others. You that made sure that you decreed it and the dead can rise. You made it possible for even Elijah to go on to heaven without experiencing death upon this very earth. You are ever more willing to exercise the same power on all our behalf on behalf of Biafra, because once you have decreed it, it must come to pass. We cannot allow the enemy, we cannot allow Facebook and their likes, we cannot allow the Janjaweed in the north, we cannot allow the Fulani cabal to instill fear in us. Or that we may get to the point where we are being consumed by it. They can consume Ohanese. They can consume Igbo politicians. They can consume the Fulefu Brigade in Abuja and in Lagos. They can never consume IPOB, because we are the chosen children. Our goal should always be to stand together in unity as one indivisible family, one unbreakable unit, as we ceaselessly pray on behalf of our nation Biafra, to ask the same God of Israel to heal our land, to strengthen his people, and to give those of us who are privileged to lead this very noble family guidance and divine strategies as we wage this ceaseless war against terrorism from the fallen north. O Elohim, you will answer our prayers, and so we may find comfort in your promises, because we remember, according to Isaiah, that violence shall no more be heard in the land of Biafra, wasting nor destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt call thy walls of salvation and thy gates of praise in the land of the living, in that very land of our ancestors, that very land that is blessed by the God Almighty in heaven. O Elohim, we ask you to show your anger upon the wicked, who every day are wreaking havoc upon the lives of law-abiding citizens. Your word is your bond. Come and show us your salvation. Extend your grace, your favor, and your mercy. Provide us with protection and empower us with your strength. Set your children free from sin and from the resulting consequences. Bring about an awakening and awareness of your presence. Turn the hearts of your people back to you, our Heavenly Father. May your name be proclaimed, and any plan of the enemy to silence the voice of your people who share your good news be crushed beyond recognition. May your light penetrate through the dark hearts of the likes of Pandef, of the likes of Ohanese, and all those who through sabotage are working for the enemy, that your name may be praised, O Elohim, and our hearts filled with joy. Remind us to be watchful and to pray ceaselessly, lest we faint, to study your word diligently, to abide in you, and you will abide in us. For you are willing to stand for righteousness in those that exhibit the love of thee. O Lord God in heaven, as we make a difference in our land, as this very IPOB pursues ceaselessly this very divine mission that you have set before us, we ask for your healing grace, O Elohim. Heal the brokenhearted, bind up the wounds of those who are hurting from rampaging Fulani attacks, those of them who are discouraged like Ohanes, those who cannot fight nor stand up, who are feeling very weak and there is no way for them to escape. Show yourself strong and mighty, O Lord, to those who are trapped in the middle belt. We need you now more than ever. We thank you because you're forgiving and merciful. May your name be glorified upon the face of this very earth, that you have decreed that Biafra must exist, and bring honor to your holy name. Chukwukika Biama Prumi Henine. Now and forevermore we pray. He say. The attack against us is continuing. If you're coming and hoping to join us via Facebook, they are frustrating themselves and not us. They are doing all they can to frustrate the efforts we are making to ensure that Biafra is restored. The same thing that they did in late 60s, they are doing again today. But they have failed. and they have failed woefully. Therefore, I suggest that everybody should download official Radio Biafra app. TuneIn is carrying this very broadcast live and direct. And there are a whole host of other platforms that are relaying this very broadcast to the ends of the earth. You should not be discouraged. They are doing all they can to frustrate us. They cannot succeed. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. Therefore, as I welcome you once again, I ask you to welcome those who are around you, that these our enemies are doing all they can to bring Biafra down, but we cannot let them. This very gospel I will preach this very night. Facebook, they are thinking, or they thought in their minds that bringing down our pages, frustrating our efforts will somehow make us to buckle. And the most painful aspect is that Facebook in Lagos is being run by Yorubas. We have made it very clear that our fight, our battle is not with the Yoruba race. If you know anybody, any Yoruba person that works for Facebook, it is in their interest to desist from what they are doing. After Tinubu must have served the north, it didn't stop the Fulanis from coming in to ravage Yoruba land. After the betrayal of the war, it did not stop the Fulanis from coming in and ravaging Yoruba land that led to the rightful formation of Amoteku. Therefore, I say to every Yoruba person who is working for the enemy to please weigh the consequences of their actions. Because what Facebook is doing in Lagos is deplorable, it is reprehensible, it is evil, and should not be condoned by any right-thinking person. We must preach this very gospel. I must preach it because heaven has decreed it and it must be preached, and preached tonight. They know what they are afraid of. Everybody is terrified of IPOB. They are scared of Biafra. They are scared of the truth. But that very truth we must preach. As many times as they take us down, so shall we rise even stronger. As I said before, allow me to repeat. Everybody must be on Radio Biafra app. Everybody must go to TuneIn. Every platform online streaming this very broadcast, I expect IPOB admin to make sure that the link to receive this very broadcast is everywhere. Because we cannot allow our enemies to succeed. They have not succeeded before, and we do not intend to allow them to succeed tonight. They can do whatever they like. They can never ever prevail over the coming of Biafra. Tonight we preach this very gospel that the world may hear. Their duplicitousness, their heavy-handedness when they dealt with Jonathan, and now wearing kid gloves when it came, or when it has come to the turn of the Fulani cabal to rule the zoo. All the pressures that are applied when Jonathan was in power by Obama administration and David Cameron, the same Britain, that same Britain, all of it are now absent. And this evening, I take you line by line through what is happening, that you all may understand what is happening to you. Because if you do not know what your problem is, there is no way you can begin even to attempt to remedy it. We talk about the state of the murderousness and the damnable zoological republic they call Nigeria, which is a colonial contraption. I keep reminding our people of this every blessed day. If you do not understand that all the problems you're having started from the very moment Europeans came into Africa to create nations for you, if you have not yet understood that, then you are in one very almighty mess. I assure you. Intellectually, you are. You are not an intelligent person. Listen very carefully. All I am trying to encapsulate every problem, Fulani headsmen, poor economic fortune, no good roads, no hospitals, nothing seems to be working. Life is stifled. And very painful for those who are so unfortunate to be alive even. Your problem is Nigeria. Nigeria is the only problem you have. Nigeria is that demon. Nigeria is that person holding you, not your uncle in the village. Nigeria is that aunt in the village doing witchcraft. Nigeria is the witchcraft itself. Until you understand this as a sane person, you will not be able to solve your problem. That is our beginning. We'll talk about all the rest, the Amotekun, the Hopus of the man, all the rubbish, the killings going on in the zoo that nobody wants to talk about. We'll talk about it tonight as well. I come again and I tell you this. Regarding the state of anarchy and lawlessness in Nigeria, the economic hopelessness, the daily, what I would call political skullduggery, so to speak, fear and terrorism that is tormenting the lives of our people every blessed day. There is only but one simple solution, and that solution is the peaceful dissolution of Nigeria. And tonight I will prove it to the whole world that Nigeria is the problem. Anybody telling you about one Nigeria, that person is your enemy. Anybody telling you about one Nigeria, that person is the demon in your life. Do not listen to your pastors. Don't listen to the preachers around you. The only demon you need to face is not even Satan. The only demon you have in your life, I assure you, is Nigeria. That is the only demon you have in your life, nothing else. Only Nigeria is the demon you have in your life. And this evening, I will attempt to prove it. First of all, I am sure that some of you have your pen and your paper ready. You have them handy. Because you must note this very carefully. I am trying to lay the foundation of the stupidity of Nigerians. I'm trying to build a platform upon which will rest every of their thinking and why it will never ever work. Not in this life, not in the next life, not in the life after. Do not forget that all those that went about in 66 and 67 convincing that Biafra is the problem, Igbo man is your problem. From southern Kaduna all the way to even the coastline of Biafra land, those that they deceived the Yoruba race, they deceived each and every one of you. They told Igbo man is your problem, that Biafra is your problem. Today, who is trying to conquer Yoruba land? Today, who are the ones killing us and burning down our villages in Bayelsa? Who are the people who are now driving their cattle through our farms in Akwa Ibom and killing our people? The same people that lied to you that Igbo man is your problem, they are the ones today killing you. They are the ones that want to Islamize you. Do you know why? Because you love lies. Our people love to be told lies. You love lies so much. That is why you cannot stand up and realize that Fulani has an agenda, that some neo-colonialists in Britain, they have an agenda to enslave you for life. You will never come out of it. Instead of you to come out, you are even digging the hole deeper. You are falling into the abyss. Into the abyss. I want to prove it to you. Britain created Nigeria, and that in effect makes, listen carefully to me to what I'm saying. Britain created Nigeria, not you, not Ahmadu Bello, not Azikiwe, not Awolowo, no. Not a Yoruba man, not an Hausa man, not a Fulani man, not an Ijaw man, not a man from Birom. He is not Baggy. This same man is not a Gala. He is not Jukun. This man is not from Efik. He is not Hibibio. He is not Igbo. None whatsoever. Absolutely none. Zero. They traveled for over 3,000 miles to come to a place where people already exist with their fine cultures and their tradition. They created something that is artificial and alien. The reason why you're dying today is because of, the reason why people are being destroyed today is because of one Nigeria. You must understand this very, very carefully. And I will tell you how that is the case. Because as a Nigerian, You are a product of colonial Africa. You are an inferior human being to Europeans, because the same thing that Europeans have done in Africa, you cannot do in Europe when you travel to Europe. Secondly, when we talk about going our separate ways for very obvious reason, some neo-colonialists in the UK will be the first. The UK High Commissioner and their friends, they will be the people say, oh, what? I say, because I'm here to preach the truth. I don't care about the consequences. I have been mandated by heaven to speak the truth, and that's exactly what I'm doing. If you have any opinion to the contrary, please present it. That is what I'm doing. Now listen very carefully. Some neo-colonialists will be the first to tell us, oh, stick together. You are in one Nigeria. Enjoy your diversity. You have population. Look at China. They have it all. Because China is homogeneous. Almost one people. Almost one people. Isn't it? They have a history and culture stretching back nearly 6,000 years. Isn't it? Are we one people? Is Nigeria made up of one people? They're asking you to stay in one, enjoy your diversity, enjoy your population. But then I ask myself this very simple question. The same Britain telling you to enjoy Nigeria, your diversity, your rich in culture, they should simply open their mouth and say, all of you should enjoy the crude oil and the gas coming from Biafra land. That will be far more palatable. That will be far more acceptable. We can see reason in it. But this lie about diversity, you're diversing with a Fulani headsman that is intent on killing you. You want to discuss diversity with Boko Haram? You want to discuss diversity and rich culture with ISIS in West Africa? You want to discuss diversity and rich culture with Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb? You want to discuss rich culture and diversity with bandits in the north? You want to discuss diversity and rich culture with people that have no regard for you. That Buhari is dead, they went to Sudan. Instead of them to come to the people and say, oh, we are one Nigeria, our head of state is no longer alive, what do? They went all the way to Sudan to go and bring somebody. That same idiot is preaching one Nigeria to you, and you are listening. Let's try and make it better. An animal is better than you because you cannot reason. And here on this platform, on this radio Biafra, that Facebook is trying all they can to shut down, that everybody is accepting bribe from Nigeria to try to close down. We are telling you the very simple truth. Britain said that we should enjoy our diversity in Nigeria. The population is there, the market can grow, the economy can grow. And then there's an economy, that's my economy. It can grow, you will do very well. And then I'm asking Britain, if that is the case, if there is this love of diversity, why have you decided to leave the European Union? You talk about diversity, embracing people from different cultures. But even in Europe, you are all Christians in Europe, so we are led to believe. You all practice free market economy, isn't it? You all believe in free trade. You all believe in capitalism. You even have more in common in Europe than we have all the various ethnic groups in the zoo called Nigeria will ever have. But you decided to leave Europe. They are Christians. They believe in democracy. They believe in the rule of law. Why have you decided to leave them? And in Nigeria that you created, you want us to fuse together with people who do not believe in democracy, with people who do not believe in the rule of law, with people who believe in terrorism and violence as a tool and as a means to advance their cause. And I'm asking Britain, I want this stupid debate about diversity. You grow. If you look at all the countries of the world, those who are making it, they are big in number. Babash. How many people actually live in Liechtenstein? Do you know a place called Liechtenstein? I'm not even sure up to 500,000 people there. Are they not doing very well? Why don't they go and subsume themselves in one monolithic political superstructure? Why not? Why have they done it? We were in Switzerland a few months ago. Is Switzerland not free even from the EU? Why is it that people cannot reason? They claim they go to school, but they cannot reason. The problem, the foundation I'm trying to lay for you is this. What is good for the geese is also good for the gander. Let me ask you this very question. If being in one huge, large family with diversity is a wonderful thing, how come Britain is not staying in Europe till today? Why have they decided to leave on the 31st of this month? Why? Ask yourself these pertinent questions. Within it lies reason. Only then can you reason. Because right now, some of you are not reasoning very well. Look at Bishop Coker is complaining. The Christian Association of Nigeria is complaining. The Hausas in the north are complaining. Everybody is complaining. All we do is complain, 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 complain. And when the Yorubas did something about it, when they finally did something about it, you have people with the temerity, the guts to stand up and question what they are doing. The same thing that we did with BSS. The same thing that we did. It is quite pathetic that today, even Ohanese is now congratulating Yoruba people for what they have done. But they cannot achieve the same level of unity in their own household. Why is that? Because they have spent nearly 50 years as boy to Fulani. They don't have the moral impetus to stand up and speak. They hide behind Yoruba, behind Amotek. Oh, you've done well. And nobody is asking them. When your people, when IPOB floated the same security outfit, what did you do? They won't ask the question. How can they ask? They will never ask. This evening, we must educate the world. We must let them understand what is happening. That this is Radio Biafra will preach the truth. Here, everything happening in the zoo, Nigeria, from Amoteku to people now is from this platform, from this Radio Biafra. Without Radio Biafra, without IPOB, there will be no restructuring, there will be no Amoteku, nothing. Fulani will pick you up one after the other. That's a fact of life. Britain loves diversity. Oh, we think there is a strength in unity and diversity. You die. How? If there is strength in unity, ask Britain, United Kingdom, if there is strength in unity, why aren't you in the European Union? Why did you decide to leave? There's no terrorism. Germans are not killing French. French are not killing the Belgians. No. There is peace everywhere and there's prosperity. Yet Britain left. And you're asking us to stay in a cauldron of hell. In a hell. Oh my God. Where people are being slaughtered on a daily basis, the courts no longer operate. The police and the army is an extension of a terrorist movement. You're asking people to stay in such a union. Then you left European Union that is working. I'm sure after tonight they will not talk about unity again in Nigeria. I'm not sure Britain will talk about it anymore. That is why we preach the gospel of truth, honesty, that the whole world may bear us witness. Facebook is wasting their time. They are wasting their time. If you think that because when we preach, if we see maybe 2,000 or 3,000 people listening, we say, things are going bad. You're dreaming. After this broadcast, it will be recorded. It will be pushed to the ends of the earth. Everywhere we'll play it on Radio Biafra FM relay stations in Biafra land and in Lagos. Everywhere the world will keep listening. So you are wasting your time. You are collecting anyway of its funny regime. They're so stupid, they'll pay money to anything. To stop Biafra, they will give money to any idiot to stop Biafra. But you have never succeeded in the past. How can you succeed now? Do you know how learned we are? We're only showing you what we're capable of until we march, and then you will understand that Kaki and Lera are not the same thing. You will soon know. We are going our separate ways, not because we hate anybody, but because we want to preserve our lives. Nigeria has never been good for anybody. It was not good for the Hausas. Since the Fulani people came into Nigeria, Nigeria has never been good for anybody. They dealt with the Hausa. Those ones who foolishly joined them to deal with the others. All the way Yoruba joined them to work against Biafra. But now, as you know, that is why prayer, let me not say prayer before Khan will say prayer will solve everything. No, prayer without work is meaningless, of course. Now, listen. The reason why everybody is waking up now is because of the gospel being preached on Radio Biafra. That is a fact of life. If you like to deny it all you can within you, that is a fact of life. That rejected stone that Biafra that was kicked to the curb, that same Biafra they lied against, that same Biafra they mocked, it is that same Biafra that is now raising the consciousness to allow them to mount a credible resistance against the expansionist tendencies of the Fulani Janjaweed. We must continue. Britain is telling you, remain in one Nigeria. You are all good together. We are being slaughtered every day. Have you then noticed what happened during Jonathan's regime? Go and Google it. How Britain, how America under Obama, EU were issuing statements every day. Government must do something. You must stop this. But now there is so much killing. You don't hear from them anymore. None of them is talking. Do you know why? Because their favorite people are in power. Despite the fact that everybody knows, even from what transpired a few days ago at Buckingham Palace, where Jubilee was missing, he didn't know. They would ask. If they had known, they would say that the etiquette demands that you take off your hat when you come. The cosmetic people, what they call it, the makeup artists would have done something marvelous before that. They never knew. Once Jubilee came and they told him, you have to take off your hat, or he ran away from that very event. And people are like, oh, Buhari is back. He's at Asarok. He's in Asarok now. Buhari is back. Oh, from Channels TV, Buhari is back. From one people or the other. Fools. They will never ask. These are journalists. They will never ask a simple question. Why did you not attend that very banquet? They won't ask. That's why we call them a zoo. They will never ask the very serious and difficult questions that genuine answers may be sought. They never ever do it. It's Biafra. They are causing trouble. IPOB wants to cause trouble for Biafrans in diaspora. That is how foolish they are. They wouldn't blame them. They are products of the zoo, and they very sad indeed. Now think about this. If belonging to a political union is always right because of the advantages of large populations and diversity, why is Britain leaving the EU? Simple question. EU offers a larger market with bigger population, with access to markets and tariff-free exchange of goods and services. Why is Britain leaving? If being in a big family is very good. They're not being killed, though. We that are being slaughtered every blessed day, our mothers being raped and killed in Ebonyi State. Because they have killed us so much, we are now immune to evil. They are killing our people. We are immune to evil. People are dying, being beheaded every blessed day. And the people are going about their businesses as if nothing is happening. Why would Britain want to leave the EU? That is the underlying problem of a Nigerian, the inability to reason. Inability to reason. This person asking me to run towards that very cage with a lion in it. Why is he running to the one with antelope inside it? Why don't he run to the one that lion? It's not that the lion is very friendly. Go and embrace the lion, but he himself is running towards an antelope. But he's encouraging you to run towards the lion. So you'll be consumed. Very sad indeed. Britain have some issues with the EU. People will be wondering, why am I going through this very route this evening? I want to establish the very basis and foundation for our discussion this evening. As simple as ABC. I want to let you understand that the way white people reason is different from how Black Africans reason. That is why we never ever record any progress. Individually, we are fine. We are very brilliant. We have good scientists. We have people who can make things happen individually. But collectively as a unit, once you assemble together as a unit to do something positive for your people, you will see the enemy, they will come. They will plant somebody inside you, as they are now doing even through IYC of all places, of all movements. They will plant one idiot. They are talking rubbish. And I don't know where our people, most, I would not say blacks in general, but mostly people that claim they are Nigerians, I don't know why they gravitate towards idiocy a lot, far more quickly than they can reason. I don't know why. It's entirely up to them. I don't know why. Britain does not want to lose its hold over Nigeria. You know, as a creator, you know, you're an inventor. As Innocent is. You know, do you think Innocent will allow you to come and use a sledgehammer and destroy all his cars and the warehouse? Of course, he's doing something nice. Do you think that Innocent, Innocent Motors is his own creation? He won't allow you to destroy it. Nigeria is the creation of Britain. Britain doesn't want to see its child go back to how it's supposed to be. Even to grow up, it won't allow it to grow up. That some of you don't know that, do you? Every day, we've not had light for 2 years, and we are paying NEPA bill, and that's the end of it. The solution is in disintegration of Nigeria. So you can go to your village, you can hold your brother or your sister responsible for not doing it. And I keep saying this thing to people. If Biafra were to stand today, do you think anybody will come and loot government funds and get away with it? You can't. But if you talk somebody that he's APC, you don't prosecute him. Like they accused him of embezzlement, of stealing money, and then all of a sudden he's now the governor of Imo State via Fulani Sharia ruling. All that is forgotten. Is that how you advance a country? Is that how you move people forward? Of course, the answer is no. And you know the answer is no. But what are you going to do? Maybe you resort to the prescription of Can, which is to fast and to pray. Dara. In Nigeria, Britain is encouraging everybody to be together as one. So it will be easier for the Fulanis to slaughter all of us. Then they will come in and they will share the oil and gas. That's why we are together. You don't know that? Are you that daft? You don't know? That's what they're trying to do. They tried to come. Let me tell you tonight, so you note it down on your paper that I asked you to bring. Fulani tried to push through Benue into Ebonyi, and we stopped them. This IPOB stopped them. Some of you don't know. When we used to grow up, we used to make a joke and say to people, it is actually our people who are doing it. It's Biafrans who are doing it. So because we don't come out every day to announce what we are doing in Ebonyi, because Yoruba paper hasn't carried it yet. That is why you think nothing is happening. Maybe I should allow them to come in and take all of you one after the other. Then you'll understand the amount of work and resources going into protecting Biafra land. I'm not only came yesterday. We've been there from the beginning. Why do you think they went to Yoruba land? They came to Biafra land. There was no way for them to penetrate. They traveled to Yoruba to see if they can come in through there. Now that route is also closed. You know what they're doing? They're using what I call the spine. They are coming along the banks of River Niger, trying to take a bit of idiots, some of the idiots in Delta, and coming into Bayelsa, where it seems to me there is a concentration of the highest, the greatest concentration of idiots we have is in Bayelsa. I say it without any apology to anybody. The highest concentration of idiots we have, talking about one Nigeria, is in Bayelsa. That's how stupid they are. Some of them have never learned any lesson. They have not learned. They are like Ohanese, they are like Pandev. They don't reason very well. This thing you are trying to do, this your one Nigerian nonsense you're doing now. Did Zik try it? Did it work? I will try it. Did it work? Do some of you know that Babangida invited Awo to come and write him a thesis on how to make Nigeria better? Awo said no. He says it's too late. You can't repeat it. Do some of you know that? You don't know. Go and ask Babangida, he will tell you. He invited Awo to come and be part of their nonsense, new Nigeria to rebuild. Awo said no, it's too late. I won't be part of it. Some of you are talking about one Nigeria. When your DSS handler comes and gives you peanuts, 1 or 20,000 naira, you run to you call maybe a nation newspaper correspondent in Yenagoa. You give him 4,600 naira. I say, oh, that's something. IPOB cannot. Don't come here again. IPOB is Bayelsa. Talking rubbish. That is how foolish some of them are. So foolish, it is unbelievable. So hopeless. But you are there. Your villages are being burnt, your communities are being sacked every blessed day. All you can do is to say, IPOB is not welcome here. So you want to so that somebody from Asarok will say, that Sabo is doing very well for us. Call him, let's make him another hope. That's how foolish we are. And in the end, they will disappoint you. As they will do to Bola Ahmed Tinubu very soon, his eyes will be open. He thinks that they can use Amotekun as leverage. So they will say, okay, for them to keep an eye on them so they will not turn to a very formidable regional militia, let's give it to Tinubu so he can control them. That's rubbish. That's his game he's playing. But he is grossly mistaken. Britain is helping the Fulani to conquer and destroy everybody in Nigeria. That is a fact of life. If they say they're not doing that, they must change their utterances and their ways. They must attack this Jubril government the same way they attacked Jonathan. US must do the same as well. All those lily-livered wet Democrats who are in the USA under Obama are attacking Jonathan on a daily basis about Boko Haram. Today, there is no law. It's not just Boko Haram. There is chaos and lawlessness everywhere. People are dying on a daily basis. And we are telling you, you may find it difficult to accept, but I am telling you that the solution to your problem is the dissolution of Nigeria. Gas, oil and gas is your problem, isn't it? We'll give it to everybody for free. We're not doing anything with it. And God in heaven is my witness. We will give you oil and gas for free. Yoruba, you get oil and gas for free. Middle belt, oil and gas for free. Anybody who wants it. We don't need the damn thing. We don't need it for anything. We have our brain, which is the greatest natural resource. We must make this abundantly clear to everybody. In case you think we are fighting for Biafra because of what is buried in the ground, then you are even more daft than the Boko Haram recruit. Remember how they removed Britain? How they removed Jonathan? This Britain I'm talking about. Remember how Britain removed Jonathan from power? Cameron and Obama. And I told Jonathan he was going to lose. I thought he was a gunner. Obama wanted a fellow Islamic fundamentalist to be in power. Did they get it or not? Today, what is happening today? What is happening today? Remember all the pressure that they put Jonathan under. What is happening today? I'm asking you. Boko Haram is busy. Not just Boko Haram. Boko Haram is coming from the northeast. ISIS in West Africa from the northwest. Then from in the middle from Chad is Al Qaeda in the Maghreb. Nobody is saying anything. The same forces that conspired to remove Jonathan today, they are mute. Nobody's talking. They will bribe Reuters, they will bribe AFP, they will bribe one idiot somewhere in Europe to write a very glowing article. The hard general is trying. They have been depleted. They are sitting in their fancy offices in the West, writing rubbish about what they know little or nothing about happening in the zoo, Nigeria. All because the more you are all together, the more they target you, the more they eliminate you, the more Fulanis are advancing with their empty brain. All they have is AK-47 to decimate you. And then they will sit down with Britain and share the loot. You will get the oil, I get the gas. Because they have nothing upstairs. All they need is just sign contract. What do they have upstairs? I keep asking this question every blessed day. What do they have upstairs? The answer is zero. Can anybody tell me what Sokoto is contributing to Nigeria? Zero. Katsina, zero. Only Alamajiri. And now they're opening their borders and people are flooding in. Whereas in the south, all the borders are closed. And some of you are talking about one Nigeria as if you're daft. You talk about one Nigeria as if you are mentally deranged. You are mentally unstable. The borders in the north are open. The borders in the south are closed. And all of you are there. Just saying, yes, we are in one Nigeria. Let's fast and pray. Unbelievable. I don't know the type of God that made you people. Common sense, some of you don't have. Common sense. Just reason. Ask yourself that question. Why would this regime of Abba Kyari, because of course Abba Kyari who's in charge, why would they shut the borders in the south? To make life difficult for you. They open the borders in the north. They lied against them. I'm not here to hold brief for Jonathan. Some of you know how I feel about him, but I'm just trying to draw an inference to make people understand the double standards that they are fake patriotism from the North always portrays. Fake patriotism. They don't love Nigeria, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nigeria, my foot. Jonathan was removed. Obama was very happy. Today, people are dying and nobody is doing anything about it. Absolutely nothing. Nobody is doing anything about it. Very, very sad indeed. Before I come to Amotekun and all the related happenings in the zoo called Nigeria, let me remind our people of Joe Robi, Soko, and the Shekiri extraction that all the lies Fulani Britain fed everybody through Yoruba newspapers. I'm not attacking Yorubas, of course, I'm just speaking the truth. All the lies that we are fed to our fathers from the riverine areas about Igbo domination, where are we today? All those who are saying, don't allow them, they'll dominate you. Who is now dominating you? You see, people don't learn from history. And every time I come on Radio Biafra, I keep pointing out this very fact, inescapable fact. You don't learn from history. You don't learn from history. You don't learn from history. I'll give you two simple examples. Adakaboro fought a very good fight, to be honest with you. Fought a very good fight. He was asking for independence of Niger Delta, which, believe you me, I support. That is why people must know this. If there is one thing about the culture that I was raised on, that Igbo culture, is this. If you want to pack out from your village and go somewhere and establish, they would, in fact, they'll hold a party for you and tell you goodbye. That's how we are. That's why you have autonomous communities. Do you have people anywhere else in the zoo that have autonomous communities? No. We can wake up in the morning and say that this Ezinachi community, they want to divide into two. In fact, they don't want to ask Ezinachi again. We'll tell them goodbye, let's have fun, let's have party, and goodbye. There's no problem. They lied to everybody. They lied to everybody, telling you. Because you know what they lied to you about the Igbos? This is one thing that some people don't know. They lie to you because they know that it is only, I'm saying this, and when I say it now, they'll say, oh, they are turning the Biafra thing to an Igbo affair. The same thing you can say in England or in Britain. Is Britain an English affair? Or will you go to Germany? Would you say that Germany is a Bavarian affair? Can you say that? No, you can't. But when it comes to Biafra, they'll say, some mischief makers will say it's about the Igbos. No, it is not. I'm going to tell you this. The reason why they lied to you, both the thieves and the Ibiras, the Jukun, all of you from the Middle Belt coming down, and with your Willings Commission in the South, the reason why they lied to you is because they know it is only the Igbo people that open your eyes so you can see the truth. They don't want you to. Britain don't want an Igbo man somewhere because we know what they know. You don't know that? That is why. So the best thing they did was to go before us to poison the minds of people against the occupants of what you call the Southeast. But thankfully, the likes of Philip Effiong saw the light. But Ken Serewa did not see the light. Abakaburu fell at the hands of the North. Ken Serewa did not learn anything. Ken Serewa also fell at the hands of the North. And some of the idiots now acting as informants within a Joy Youth Council. Informants. They are making the same mistake. They will also fall. The more you rat on IPOB, the more your communities are being destroyed. Odi was destroyed. 2 other communities have been destroyed. We'll go through it later. Yet you don't learn anything. The same people they are claiming is coming to dominate you are the same people fighting and dying to save you. And you claim you have brain in your skull. I very much doubt it. I speak the truth. Always. The truth. Always. And do you seriously think, let me ask, do you seriously think that if you're in your little enclave doing something about, I know about the killings that took place around, is it Omok or what? I think the deputy sent it to me. The killings that took place, you know, when they kill us this day, they say it's cult related. They'll be wasting people's lives. They'll be telling it is cult related. Very, very sad indeed. Very, very sad indeed. It was something that happened in a place, they said it's between Ospak, whatever rubbish that means. Ospak and a place called Ozide community. You know, the boundary between Imo and River State. These are all the same people. Haji especially, all the way to Omok. All the same people, one people. But the full animal will come and tell you, oh no, we are Niger Delta. You are Niger Delta. Don't allow them all. But it's your brother, answering the same name as you, speaking the same language. I don't know what one thing to us. Let us proceed very, very speedily, please. We have come to the news the way it should be. Now, these are the people, or should I say some of them, that complained that IPOB is here. IPOB is coming to Bayelsa. It is not Biafra. Okoko. He's actually a Yoruba boy, or Lorogun Kennedy. From his name, you know he's Yoruba. He's not even from a Joland. And IYC allowed such a church rat to occupy a position. You are allowed to occupy a very important position in Biafra land. The Joint Youth Council for the Central Division, based in Jenego. I have nothing against Yoruba, but everyone should go back to where they come from and contest or whatever. I am a firm believer in that. In Bayelsa, they made a Yoruba man the IYC chairman. He's the one talking rubbish. And now let me remind him as to what is happening in Bayelsa so he will know. This is how foolish people are. There is a group called the Ijaw People Development Initiative. It is a human rights group. Let me read it for you, please, so you understand it very clearly. And understand how foolish some people can be sometimes in this life. They are calling on the federal government to reconstruct Bilabiri 1 and 2 communities in Ekeremo local government area of Bayelsa State. What happened to Bilabiri 1 and 2? These are 2 communities. It is in Ekeremo local government area of Bayelsa State. This is for those who are talking nonsense. We don't want IPOB meeting here. This is for you, all of you. I want to showcase your idiocy, your stupidity to the world, so mankind can know how foolish you are and why Fulanis are killing you. This Keremo community is in Bayelsa State. It was burnt down by invading soldiers, claiming they are searching for criminals that killed 3 military personnel. It is now their signature. Burn down, kill, burn down, sack villages. Who are the soldiers doing the sacking and the killing? Oh, yes, you know. They are from Fulani. They are from the north. They are the same people that went to this same Keremo government area and said to them, Igbo man is coming to dominate you. Don't support Biafra. Okay, the same Fulani has come today and burnt down not 1 community, but 2 communities. Complete destruction. Let us continue. Mr. Austin Ozobo is now threatening that if nothing is done within 30 days, that they will stop the oil flow from the coastal region of Biafra land. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It urged the government to investigate the atrocities committed by the soldiers and bring the culprits to book. In your dreams, you know it will never happen. Stop wasting your time talking as if you have no brain in your skull. It will never happen. Listen to what he had to say, a direct quote from him. These are the people who are fed the junk. Igbo man is your problem. Don't support IPOB. They want to break away Nigeria. Listen to what came out of his mouth. We have been disgusted. We have been disgusted and infuriated over the unlawful military invasion of Bilabiri communities. We condemn it in its entirety as it is barbaric, senseless, and unlawful. He went on to say, we Ijaws have been pushed to the wall and we have decided to call for a total shutdown of all oil facilities in the Niger Delta to protest against the continued unlawful killing and burning of Ijaw communities if federal government fails to rebuild Bilabri 1 and 2 within 30 days. Now, this was what Mr. Ozobo said. Of course, he's angry, and I respect his right to be very angry. But there is something our people need to understand. Blacks need to understand this very well, especially those who are living under dictatorships. There is something you must understand. When something happens to somebody and you keep quiet, it will come and happen to you. Why do you think the Yoruba set up Amotekun? Amotekun, I don't know the correct phonetics for it. Why did they set it up? Because the same thing that the Fulanese and the core Sharia North did to Biafra, they are now doing to the Yorubas. If the Yorubas knew that a day would come when they will have to raise an ethnic militia to defend their land against raping, killing, even if you had told them before that the daughter of a prominent Yoruba man will be slaughtered in the process, I'm sure that they wouldn't have been that, negative towards Biafra. But because it happened to other people, that's what Fulani does very well. Oh, it's not you, it's the other person. Can't you see? They are very bad. They are planning for a funeral. I am pointing all these things out because let me tell our people very clearly this. One, Ijaw on his own cannot do anything to Nigeria. That is a proven fact. They will go on burning down communities, you will do nothing. But together as one unbreakable unit, they will fall. Now, let me give you a very simple example. Amotekun is an instance. Had it been that one state, maybe Ekiti or Osun or Oyo, went alone to do their own thing, oh my goodness, they will bring the federal might to crush them. But once all the Southwest governors very cleverly, I respect them, I must tell you this, once they got together, and I know they wouldn't have gotten together if not for the likes of Paya Debanjo and Fani Kayode, of course. That is also a fact, to give them the liver and the mettle to do what they did. They realize, Yorubas are very clever, I must give them that. They realize that if we do this piecemeal by piecemeal, they'll pick us off. We must do it together as one block. And once they did it as one block, as one whole Yoruba, one, no dissension, it was sealed and final. The zoo government became handicapped. But let us attempt such a thing in the southeast or south-south. Believe you me, the governors will be in the meeting. Ibazu will get up, or Obiano will get up and say, I want to go and kiss myself. He will go into the toilet. He will put his phone, he will call Asorok and say, not tomorrow night, start blaming me, come and hear what I'm hearing. Go. He will put his phone, he will call Asorok and leave his phone on and bring it into the meeting. So before you finish that meeting, Asorok will call Umahi and say, oh, I heard her in a meeting. And Umahi will say, no, sir, I'm not in any meeting. Oh. I want to inspect a new bridge they're building with Islamic bank money. And the meeting will be over. The meeting will be dead there and then. Look at the way they planned it in the West and executed it. I'm just drawing an inference, so I will let anybody planning anything, Niger Delta, Ijaw, you are there. Write it on a piece of paper now. What is today's date again, please, for goodness sake? Today's the 24th, isn't it? Of January 2020. Write it down. You are wasting your time. Many more communities will fall. There is nothing you can do about it because you have traitors in your midst. The capital of treachery in Biafra land is in Bayelsa. Treachery upon treachery. You allowed APC to come in. What do you expect? Has the governor spoken? The answer is no. How can he talk? He is a puppet of the caliphate. How can he speak? Some of you don't know anything. You don't know nothing. Absolutely nothing. Your brains are empty. How can you be talking about a job? You cannot stand on your own. You cannot defeat this monster. Fulani is a monster. You cannot defeat them. Standing and I want to stand as a jam fight. So you have not learned from Adakaboro. He broke away and they killed him. You've not learned from Kensington Wiwa. He broke away and they killed him. Don't you understand it? Do you need to go to another primary school to understand this? You want to be re-educated to understand what is happening. But they told you, Igbo man is your problem. Fight Biafra. And you fought Biafra. Today, those that ask you to fight Biafra, they are coming for you. They are coming. They cannot stop. It is in their DNA to conquer, to overrun, to subjugate, and to lay waste. It is in their DNA. They cannot help it. They are like mad people. Enraged mad people. They can no longer control their emotions. They can no longer control their reflexes and their actions. That is how they are as a people. They can no longer help it. Buhari died to tell you how evil they are. They went to Sudan and recruited somebody to carry out this very program. That's why they're crying over Motekun. Not because they don't like it, but because it is going to halt their advance to the Atlantic Ocean. We just, who are you? You are nothing. The same way that Igbo is nothing. The same way Ibibio is nothing. They can come to Africa and they pick you 111. Nothing will happen. But together as one, this same East, this same Biafra, we are impregnable. Common sense and common logic. Some of you don't know. People open their mouth and they talk pure rubbish. That is what they have planted Islam in Bayelsa. Islam is in your land. You think they are doing it because of the love of Prophet Muhammad? Is that what you think? You're so daft if you think so. Some of you are converting to Islam in your land because they are setting you up as stooges. You are the tools. You are the willing tools they will use to advance to the Atlantic Ocean without you knowing it because you're daft. You're not intelligent enough. I must tell you the truth because nobody else will. And now, if you know what I've done, if you know what I've done wrong, you tell me. I tell you the truth. You may not like it, but it is the truth. It is of no use sitting in front of this thing. You cannot do nothing to Fulani. Fulani will ravage your land. You can't do nothing. Jonathan, they come up with you. I can't do anything. What can he do? He's like, go on. The more they kill it, the more he'll tell them about one Nigeria. And people are dying. People are dying every blessed day because you don't know your priorities. You cannot get them right. Time and time again. Nobody in Nigeria believes there is a problem unless they are affected. Remember Khan. Khan should be the people advocating for Biafra to come. Khan should be the people at the forefront of making sure that the whole world is aware of what is happening. And the only solution is to break Nigeria into pieces. Nothing else will work. Nothing else will matter. If you divide Nigeria, believe you me, Boko Haram cannot come down to the south. No Fulani headsmen. Never, ever, ever again. But if you remain in one Nigeria, listen very carefully. Once you're in one Nigeria, they will always anchor their argument on one dead constitutional provision or the other. Freedom of livestock. We must move our livestock. And meanwhile, they have consolidated their hold on the army, on the police, on customs, on every paramilitary that is carrying a gun. That is why they don't want anybody else to carry a gun. You think they're stupid? They don't want you to carry a gun. They have Hizbah. They have civilian JTF in the Northeast. They have all these things all over the place. They have Sharia police, but they will never allow you to carry a gun. Only them can. Because a gun is an instrument of coercion. If you make noise, they will kill you as they killed a boy in Imo State. Nobody is talking. Nobody is moved. No, absolutely no, only IPOB. Without IPOB exposing the evil happenings in the zoo, do you think we'll be where we are today? What would happen? If you make noise, they come and buy the person in your village or buy a newspaper journalist to write rubbish. Or some of these idiots on 2,000 naira a week recharge card in Enugu will be writing rubbish. What do they know? Nothing. Their brain is empty. Oh, okay. There's a way you can do it. You call this politician, you call that one, you sit down and you plan it, and you turn it upside down and you plan it, and you come out. The Yoruba governor succeeded because They have the love of Yoruba first more than anything else. Whereas the political class you've been bestowed since 1970 are those handpicked by the North. That is why they are all servants. I said all are servants to the North. They can never come together to hold whatever meeting, to strategize on the security for our people. Never. Never, ever, ever. Everybody's playing it on their own. I'm in reverse. Let me do my own reverse thing. I'm in cross river. I'll do cross river thing. I'm in Akwa. Nothing is not working. The Fulanis are coming. They are killing. They are pillaging. They are sacking. They are raping as they are coming. Nothing will happen until you bind together under this IPOB. And we stop them, of course, as we have done it. Look at Ebonyi State. They are running from us in Ebonyi. Some of you don't know because you have not read it in a Yoruba paper. So it may not be happening because it's not in a Yoruba paper. That's how some of you are. Oh, can you see me? That's the way you behave. But are you going to stop us from the fight we are fighting? Of course not. They know. I tell them to their faces. They know it. If you say you're strong, you come into Ebonyi. And you allow me. Come now, you will see. I say because we don't have what's it called? All these patrol cars with siren on top. No. Ask him yet, they will tell you that we met them in Ebonyi. And they decided to try Yoruba land. Let them come. We are waiting. There are mad people everywhere. What I tell you is that I preach the truth. What I tell you is the gospel truth. Up, down, left, right, it is the truth. That is why this gospel, as I'm preaching it live now, if you go to Abuja, it is silent. Everybody, who is who in Abuja is, call them down, see if you get them on the phone. Let us call anybody you know that is sensible in Lagos or in Abuja right now that listen to Radio Biafra. If you can't collect 3,000 naira from Ike Premato, charge card rubbish. Pure nonsense. It doesn't concern us anyone, they know that very well. Who are the people that kill and burn houses? Is it not Boko Haram? Is it not Boko Haram, I'm asking? Why would a well-trained soldier kill people and burn not one community but two? Why? Because they are Boko Haram. Excuse me. They are Boko Haram. It's only Boko Haram that kill people and burn houses, isn't it? In the north. That's what they've been doing. The same people you said who they have repented, he will salute them. Rank military. They all join the military. And all of a sudden now they are the same thing that Boko Haram is doing in the north is what the Nigerian army is doing in the south. What does it tell you? That there is Boko Haram in the army. But some of you won't understand that, will you? Did this problem start today? It did not start today. Were the people warned? Yes, they were warned. Did they do something? No. You know, Nigeria, it's our time, like Tinubu is doing. They turn up my village. I told people, once they dangle that carrot, the same presidency, they dangle it in front of they dangle it in front of them. Oh, presidency. Oh, yeah, yes, let's be good. This thing IPOB is doing. IPOB have one idiot that rise from America. Okoko. That doesn't know the road to his village. He writes. IPOB have stopped Igbo presidency with the agitation. Beke. He's speaking English. Or he's writing grammar. He's an intellectual from America. Oh, the same presidency that IPOB is stopping them from having is the same presidency that Miet Yala is offering to Yoruba people to drop Amotekun. The same presidency. They dangle it in front of those idiots, and in front of even one buffoon from so-called South said let me say he's the chief. That give it to South, let's complete our turn. And I keep asking myself, are you sure that these are Biafrans? Are you sure that they have Biafran blood in them? Who gave birth to these non-entities? The same presidency. They now dangle it in front of anybody who is willing to betray his people. They dangle it, and if you're willing to betray, we'll get, and they won't give it to you. If you don't know, they are preparing Tambuwal, and they're making here for 2023 for information. These warnings have been there. Did I say something? Of course I did. Write it down on a piece of paper. That's what they want to use to get in here. They have to stop complaining about them. They made him a promise that you are in good terms with Tambuwal. He's your master. So cool down. Pipe low. We'll give it to you. Tambuwal. There's a game we are playing with the Yoruba. We'll bring out Tambuwal, and then you'll be vice. After 8 years or 4 years, then you'll be playing. You know, the same old story, same old garbage. Did the warning start today? No. Did your so-called Nigerians listen? Of course not. Not me saying it. What I'm telling you today, those in the know have known from time. Those in the know, they have known from time. Who said it's Obasanjo? Buhari deceiving Nigerians. His government empowering Boko Haram. Listen carefully. Obasanjo said this almost a year ago. Of course, I've been saying it since 2014, but he's an elder statesman. He's known all over the world. So we go with what he said. Obasanjo said, and I quote, headline, Buhari deceiving Nigerians. His government empowering Boko Haram. Obasanjo. Nobody listened. But now, some of you cannot even reason and know that the manifestation of Boko Haram's involvement or government empowering Boko Haram is in the sacking and burning of villages in Biafra land. You can never ever make that connection. Because all is in your brain is Igbo man will dominate me. You know, like a deranged cannibus monkey. Somebody who cannot listen very well. A chimpanzee suffering from convulsion somewhere in the mangrove. Talking pure rubbish. Obasanjo said it. And nothing happened as usual in the zoo. Maybe by that time, Yoruba newspapers were busy trying to romance APC, hoping that their man, Tinubu, will get in, not knowing that they have special plan for Yoruba. Special plan to conquer and to finally to conquer them and decimate them completely. And pave the way for Alamajri and Janjaweed all over Africa to come into the zoo. Meanwhile, they have closed your borders. And you're there writing as an intellectual from America. I'm an intellectual. Or maybe in I'm writing from Enugu, I'm an intellectual. But your border is closed. The border is closed. The borders in the north are open. Those are the issues you should be talking about. People masking their village envy and jealousy under we are intellectuals. Unbelievable. That's nothing we will not see. Unbelievable. After 1 year of Obasanjo saying that this government of Abakiyari is supporting Boko Haram, the Christian Association of Nigeria, what did they say? The same thing. Buhari government colluding with Boko Haram to kill Christians. The same thing. And the same thing that I've been telling every senator in America. So it's a shame now they're engrossed in all this impeachment rubbish. These are the facts that I laid before American senators and lawmakers. I have done this. Now they're not shouting about it. But Obasanjo said it a year ago. Can't have said the same thing. Now the next logical step is, what are we going to do about it? It's not just lamenting, oh, Boko Haram is doing this, they're killing us here. What are you going to do about it? Somebody said it's improve the security of the people, improve the security of more police. The more police is Boko Haram. If you say recruit more army is Boko Haram. So what are you going to do? People must be able to reason. Oh, there is deterioration of security all over the place because the people you're bringing there are Fulani people. They didn't go to school. All they know is to shoot, to kill. They have come with an agenda to Islamize, to Fulanize, to enslave, to conquer, to village to rape. What are you talking about? That's what they've come for. They're talking about security in your village. So there is security problem in your village, and a foreign man is coming to solve it for you. And why won't you have security issues when there is no employment? People don't have jobs to go to. So that thing they used to tell you in kindergarten, that an idle mind is a devil's workshop, you didn't know it was real? So you never knew that? They don't build factories. They don't encourage entrepreneurship. The economy is in the dust. How do you want people to eat? How do you want them to survive? I even think that it was the emir of Kanu who quite, intelligently articulated it. I think it was very into the magic in the north. When they grow up, what are they going to do? They put them all in the army now, and the customs and police, and they ship them to Biafra land to start killing all of us. And then we'll go to people, and one intellectual will write for America. He's intellectualizing about, make Nigeria work and to move ahead. Okay. Not knowing that Fulani is not educated enough to understand the garbage he's writing. Obasanjo said it last year. This year is Christian Association of Nigeria. And what led to this? Because the Adamawa chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria was killed by Fulani terrorists, Boko Haram. Boko Haram demanded 200 million euros, according to them, from the family. Nobody was prepared to pay. They were negotiating for 50 million, and the terrorists agreed. Suddenly, they contacted Khan, and they said they would kill him unless he agreed to convert to Islam. He said no. And the next thing, they sent a picture of his severed head from his body to his relatives. And that is the end of that news. Is over. It's finished. It is finished. And what we do as a Urat RIP, may he rest in peace, may he say, gentle soul rest in peace. That's the end of it. We move on until they kill somebody else the next day. This is a typical black African Nigerian for you, daft to the core. They look at the problem, they know the solution to the problem, but they will never ever employ that solution because they are afraid of the Fulani. It's only IPOB that is not scared of Fulani. They're afraid of us now. If you go to Mietiala now, you shout IPOB or Nnamdi Kanu, they will faint. Go to Mietiala and try it now. You see what will happen. There'll be a stampede. Others are afraid of Mietiala. We are not. They know this. We have met them in Ebonyi. We met them in Anambra, and they know how ready we are. They know us very well. Some of you running from pillar to post, looking for political appointments, looking for jobs from the government, fooling yourselves, deceiving yourselves. Not before we used to say you're mortgaging, you're mortgaging the future of your children. Now they are sacrificing our lives. Somebody wants to be a governor. He will promise everything. He will give Dangote Imo River Basin Authority. They will give him anything. All he wants is to be governor. It doesn't concern him. If they're killing you, that's your business. That's where we are now. More like operation sell your people. That's where we are. Very, very sad indeed. Everybody is lamenting and complaining, but of course nothing is happening. And I have a very simple solution. Divide Nigeria, let everybody go their separate ways. So terrorism will stop. Once there is a meeting in England now discussing how to dissolve Nigeria, terrorism will stop that same minute. Once they announce the meeting, that Britain, the creator of Nigeria, is now convening a very crucial meeting to determine if Nigeria has a future or not, terrorism will stop that same night. If you like, try it and see. We keep deceiving ourselves. Yeah, we are one Nigeria because of oil. People think they cannot survive without oil from Biafra land. That is all this one Nigeria garbage is because they think we cannot survive without oil and gas. Money coming from Biafra land. That is all. That is where the envy is coming from. That is where the jealousy is coming from. That is where they don't want Biafra to go. That's all. Not that they love you. They love you. You hold no position in government. They love you. They have rendered you useless. Second-hand clothing Okereka is no longer coming in. Stockfish no longer comes in. Nothing. All our industries shut down, and the person is claiming you're in one Nigeria with him. You love him. Our dear sister, in fact, I agree with her to an extent. She spoke very well. In Lagos. But the fact of the matter remains that it is not about if you reject us. We have been rejected. I want to understand we have already been rejected. It's not a question of if you reject us, we can't reject ourselves. No, we have already been abandoned, rejected. And IPOB is doing something about it. We are doing something about it. There was a video of that says that cult is beheading people. Now beheading is now the norm. If you come to Eche, if you come to Obiakpo, that's beheading going on. As I say, is cult, and then army came in, and there was a few beheadings. Did you see how foolish we have become? Because we did not fight for Biafra together from time. Biafra is the solution. As Melford Okiro, former MPN governor of River State, told me that Biafra is the solution. As Ali Ekine did, that Biafra is the solution, no other way. They do not understand it. They will never understand it. And the wise people are busy beheading each other and beheading themselves all over the place. You know, to learn something stupid is very easy for some people in this week. The grace now is to behead somebody. That is the new fashion. Oh dear. The same Hausa police that people are telling you, why don't you beef up the security? That when people talk about insecurity in Nigeria, I keep asking myself, who and what is the cause of the insecurity? The insecurity is Fulani. They are in the police, they are in the army. They are the ones killing people. That is a fact. When I say it, Facebook doesn't agree. They say, oh no, you are, they say it's spam, isn't it? Whatever the rubbish they call it. They want to shut me down. In Imo State, the home of the new Sultan, a businessman. His name is Mr. Justice Eke. He was shot dead by a policeman because he wanted to hand over a 50 naira note bribe, and the money fell on the ground. The policeman shot him dead. And who is the police commissioner in Imo State? Of course, it's not an Igbo man, not somebody from Imo, not somebody who knows the place, but it's Mr. Olaniyi Fafowora. This man was killed because he agreed to give bribe of 50 naira, but accidentally the bribe fell on the ground. And the policeman, of course, Janjaweed, shot him dead. Now, when chroniclers come, they will say, oh, there is violence. There's a loss of life in Imo. There's violence. They will never tell you that this man was shot dead by a Fulani policeman. They will never tell you. And now, they will say there is insecurity all over the place. Can you bring more enforcement? The more enforcement coming. Who are they? The same Fulani. Our people are in a very serious and difficult mess. Believe you me. The sooner you realize what IPOB is doing, the sooner you realize the importance of the work IPOB is doing, the better for everybody. I assure you. The better for all of us. Because some of you do not understand. Some of you do not appreciate what we are doing. But one day you will. How do we defend the innocent? That is the I have been able to list out all the happenings, all the very terrible things happening in the zoo. How do you combat? How do you checkmate? How do you contain this excessive Fulani savagery of the worst kind? How? Because somebody said that Nigeria is a country where killers walk free. Not me saying it, but Archbishop, is it Bishop, Archbishop? It's Bishop Koka of Sokoto. Will this man that killed this Okereke be prosecuted? The answer is no. He's Fulani. Have you ever seen Fulani being arrested before? Of course not. They don't arrest themselves because it's rankadede. Even if they kill, even if Dangote, when they use his trailer to commit very serious terrorist crime, when they commit terrorism with Dangote tanker or truck, you know what they do? They don't have the police. If they're driving through Anambra, they have the Anambra police commissioner's number. They'll just call. and say I'm this person, and that's it. They come and take them. They come and take them and rescue them. This Goka, he's been speaking very well. He spoke at the 3rd General Assembly and Peace Conference. Always peace. Peace with who? Somebody who wants to Islamize you, somebody who wants to kill you and rape your mother, you're making peace with. Are they well at home? So you see, you think that one day will come in Nigeria when Al-Majri will just mind their business, or Mieti Allah will mind their business. The 4th terrorist group, largest, most deadly terrorist group in the world, they'll mind their own business. Is that seriously? Is that what you think? Is Mieti Allah not Fulani headsmen? Is that what you're thinking in your foolishness? You're holding peace conference. Peace conference with who? To achieve what result? I'm asking. Inter-religious dialogue. Are Christians fighting Muslims? Are Judeo-Christians fighting Muslims? I say it's no. It's always the Muslims killing the Christians. So what dialogue are you having? What interfaith reconciliation are you having? One person is killing the other person, and you're having dialogue. These people, I don't know. I don't know for them. I don't know for them. But this level of stupidity is getting out of hand. The time now is approximately, I believe, it is 8:30 in the land of Biafra. This is a live presentation. This is Radio Biafra. We are dissecting the zoo, exposing the fraudulent foundation of the British criminal edifice called Nigeria. Criminal edifice, that's what it is. Built for criminals, sustained by criminals, and run by terrorists. That's who they are. Mad people everywhere. As they kill them, they are declaring for fasting and prayer. Fasting and prayer. Fulani is acquiring AK-47, fasting and prayer. And because they are talking about fasting and prayer, Mietiala will not speak. You know, this is a Mietiala government, a terrorist government, government of Fulani headsmen. Because this is nothing. But any day you form yourself into a vigilante group like Kamoteku, they will start shouting because they know there is no way in for them anymore. But if you say fasting and prayer, when they come and they start shooting the AK-47 at you, they'll ask you, let that prayer save you. That was why they beheaded the CAN chairman in Adamawa. Let that prayer save you now. He has AK-47, you have the Holy Bible and your prayer. Let that prayer save you. And the man was slaughtered. They are here calling for fasting and prayer. And I'm saying to CAN this very evening, the only thing that can save you is for everybody to go their separate ways. Once you do that, all this rubbish will come to an end. I've said this, but I'll keep saying it. And when I go back to the US and EU to speak to those that matter, I'll remind them again. This fear that a breakup of Nigeria will lead to a wider regional conflagration of conflict and all the rest of it is pure balderdash. I have said this to them before. They don't want to listen. I'll keep saying it. Nigeria will break and nothing will happen. Soviet Union broke and nothing happened. The only savages you have are the Fulanis. Once you control them, once you contain them in Sokoto, it's over for them. It's over for them. But there are some people looking for elected office. They want to politicians. They're like Hope Uzodinma and all the rest of them. They want the turn of my village. Oh. Very, very sad indeed. Very, very sad indeed. Even the man who is responsible for drafting the constitution that empowered all these terrorists, Abdul Salami Abubakar. That is what is paining me about all these Fulani people. They think they're smart. Nigeria is presently at a crossroad with the multifarious challenges confronting. And I'm asking Abdul Salami Abubakar, who created the problems? You know, these people, I don't know how they do this. There is a problem in the country. And I'm asking them, who actually created these problems? Whose responsibility is it to contain the Fulani terrorists? You created the problem. You're asking for people to come together so we can dialogue and find how to end this confrontation, when the only people confronting other people are Fulani headsmen. They are the ones doing the killing. It's you that brought in. You are the one that put Sharia in the constitution. No Christianity in the constitution. You, Abdul Salam Abubakar. You are the ones that empowered all the parastatals to basically come from the north, whether educated or badly educated. Like Muhammad Tanko, the Chief Justice of the Zoo. You people are responsible for what is happening in there, and you're coming out to lament as if there are people that you're struggling with. Of course not. Of course not. You people are the cause of the problem. You created the problem. The problem was created by the Fulani rulers of the zoo. You think you have a sense of entitlement. You can do anything you like in Nigeria. You can kill, you can loot, you can pillage, you can impose. What is causing the problem now? Is it not this Fulanization agenda that Buhari had before he died that Abba is now carrying out? Is that what you're doing? You're securing Nigeria for Islam and for Muslims, or should I say Al-Majri, Fulani, all across the whole of Africa. That's what you're doing. And then you're here complaining and shouting about confrontation. You are the ones confronting people. And that is the very gospel truth. That is the very gospel truth. And they are warning. This one is warning, oh, there's going to be civil war. Junai, that glorified Al-Majri. Maybe the only Al-Majri who can, if at all he's the one writing all this, who can actually read and write. Why? Because of Amoteku. Amoteku, I think that's the correct pronunciation. He said there's going to be war because when he talks about civil war, he is counting on Biafrans, especially Igbos, being able to support the North to subdue the Yorubas. But it's not going to happen. It can never ever happen. Never will it happen. And they know it very well. I want to defend myself against terrorists. And you're telling me you will go to war because of it. You have not fought this war against the terrorist groups that all of you are funding in the North. This Junaid Mohammed is himself a terrorist. They are the ones. And ask yourself this question. How come in Nigeria you have Boko Haram, you have ISWAP, you have Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb, you have Fulani headsmen, you have bandits, and you have kidnappers? Only them. Do you think if all these issues, or should I say difficulties, were prevalent in any zone or region, that they will allow a president to come from there? To some of the idiots saying that IPOB is stopping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from producing a president of Igbo extraction come 2023. How come Boko Haram, ISIS in West Africa, Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb, Fulani headsmen did not stop the re-emergence of Abba Kyari's puppet, Jubril al-Sudani of Sudan? But he's an intellectual. He claims, he's claiming he went to school. He's an intellectual. He can reason very well. Look at how daft they are. Terrorism, the real sponsors of terrorism, people that openly called Buhari their chief negotiator. Buhari that said to Hejrika, an attack against Boko Haram is an attack against the North. None of that stopped Buhari from emerging as president. No, not at all. IPOB fighting for the survival of the Biafran race. He's stopping. He's an intellectual. Tomorrow he will write one garbage again, and idiots will read it. That's how sad they are. They claim they're intelligent, but they know nothing. Junaid Mohammed is claiming that Yoruba is launching civil war. Yoruba wants to defend itself. The daughter of their leader was killed. You're going about raping women, killing people in Yoruba land, and you want them to keep quiet? Do you seriously think that the Yoruba governors are Igbo governors? Is that what you're thinking? Or the so-called South governors? Is that what you're thinking? That you can do whatever you like and get away with it? They waited, and at the last time they launched their vigilante. And that is the end of the game. Is over for them in the West. The attention will now turn to the East. They will come because they are desperate. Their brethren are coming in from all over Africa, and they need access. They need control of access to the sea, and they must have it. So that is why they're jumping up and down, because what Amotekun did is to destroy their plans completely. That is why Miyetti Yala is beside itself. They cannot believe it. They never thought that the Yoruba will summon the courage one day to say enough is enough. They never, not in a million years, never dreamt about it. That's why on their throne and bush, they sheepishly joined in and said, we are happy now, they have reached an agreement, we are happy. This was what IPOB saw decades ago and tried to implement. He said, no, now look at where we are. A few beheadings here and there, a few killings here and there, burning of villages and communities. If you don't give them money at checkpoints, they kill you there and then. Nothing will happen. This is the result of weak leadership, compromised leadership. They cannot speak. Instead, they will kneel down before filthy Alamajiri and be begging to be made governor of a state. Men without shame. Yesterday, they told us that they have reached there's a peace accord now between Shibajo and his 4 Yoruba brothers. That now there is a peace accord. No more. Amoteko is not illegal. But today, the Alamajiri in the government, Alamajiri there at the meeting, Malami, is insisting that it cannot continue because they know that their plans are over. Everything they planned has been destroyed by one simple formation, because all the Europe, not 5, all the 6 governors spoke with one accord, one unity, and that was it. And do you know why they said to them to go to your state assembly and try to pass laws? And that's what you know what they want to do. What Malawi wants to do is, once that process begins, they will start lobbying the lawmakers in the West, promising them presidency, promising them minister, Speaker of the House of Representatives, President of the Senate in 2098. And the idiots, these are black people. They will accept the money and the empty promise, or should I say promises in this case, and they will betray. Once one state votes no, the whole thing unravels. You see, people don't understand Fulani the way we know them. It's a trap. That's what they always do. The same thing they did was, come into politics. Why don't you come into politics? Let's play it there. Then they're waiting for you at the Supreme Court, so you can win all you like in your state or in your locality, and they'll just tell their puppet, don't worry, bring it to the Supreme Court. At the Supreme Court, one Kudirat Abdullahi will say no. That somebody that came 5th is now first. Well, what will you do? Nothing. You say let's leave it for God, and as Khan will say, let's fast and pray. I'm giving Yoruba free advice tonight. Yoruba, only go to your state assemblies to ratify this if you are sure you will carry it. Because, listen, mark my words tonight. Today is the 24th of January. If one state votes no in the West to Amotekun, because they have the money, they can go to China and borrow more money. They can bring more money and promise those people who will give you DSS security, as they did in those days, how they convinced Akintola to fight Awolowo. We'll give you everything you need. Don't worry. We'll even give you houses abroad. If the heat is too much after the vote, you can fly abroad, no problem. That's what they will do. They'll target just one state. They'll target one predominantly Muslim, Yoruba Muslim state. They'll get that House of Assembly to say no. Once they do it, the whole Amotekun unravels legally. I'm giving them free advice tonight. Do not go to your state House of Assembly. If you do, make sure that you have the numbers, or else this whole Amoteko thing will be unraveled. Because the argument that Malami is making is that it is not backed by the weight of law. But the contention is very simple. You don't need the backing of the law to protect your life. You don't need it. Somebody is coming, raping your mother, abducting your wife, and you be on the phone calling the Speaker of our State House of Assembly. Speaker, make a law to enable me to defend my family. Does that make any sense to anybody? The Yorubas are saying that you're coming into their land and you're destroying their way of life. You're killing people. They are stopping it, and you're asking them to go and get the law to back them. Can you believe such rubbish? And they've gone ahead and have done it, and you're threatening war. Go let Fulani go and fight Yoruba now. Let's see. Go and fight them now. Is it to be shouting war? Go and fight them. Let us see. An order will be given. You know that no Yoruba in the army will fight their people. No Biafran in the army. No Biafran will issue the order on Radio Biafra. No Biafran in the army will go to Yoruba land and start killing people. For you, Fulani. It's not possible. You think you're smart? We're smarter than you are. No room for Amotekun in Nigeria. Federal government insists. But yesterday they said they had reached an agreement, but today they're saying, oh, it's no longer valid. We insist. You must break it down because they need space for their people coming from all over Africa, and Yoruba land is included. If the Yorubas had known this, what they know now, in 1967, do you think that Awo would have betrayed Ojukwu? The answer is no. It is called benefit of hindsight. That thing that Ojukwu fought. You know, people come and they lie. They say, oh, and Ojukwu went to war. We were on our own and they brought the war to us. Through Nsukka. They brought the war to us. Oh, and Ojukwu went to war. Who told you that? Now you can see what Ojukwu fought for. Ojukwu fought this same thing now. You are now confronting with Amotekun. This same thing now. The same thing that the thieves are facing in the Middle Belt, that the Jukun are facing. The same lamentation of T.Y. Danjuma. You know that go on, his hand is so soiled with blood that he has no conscience anymore. T.Y. Danjuma was complaining that killing his people. Now you see why the Biafrans went to war? There must be, instead of calling for prayer and fasting, I think the Khan should call for open day of confession and asking of forgiveness from Biafra. Or should I say Biafrans? Nigerians should, at least the Middle Belt and the West, they should kneel down and ask Biafrans to forgive them. Because what you're going through now is exactly what we passed through. But then we're telling you, a combination of Britain, you know, a white man drinking tea with you, telling you Igbo man is bad, Biafra is bad for you. You agreed because it was an opportunity for you to sit with a white man and to drink tea. But the truth of the matter is that what Ojukwu fought for, what this generation of Ojukwu is fighting for, is still the same thing. Not even the domination. They've been dominating us, no one is complaining. They brought death and destruction upon their domination. They've been dominating us, someone is complaining. Did we complain? No. It is they brought terrorism on top of it, and now telling us we must convert to Islam by force. That's why we said no. It won't happen. Have they not been dominating us? They dominate, they take over every parastatal belongs to them. They don't go to school, but they head every institution. No problem. But even the small existence we are trying to eke out for ourselves, they are saying no to it. Oh, come on. Where do you want us to go then? We must defend our land. We must defend it. No room for Amotekun. They are joking. And Junai Mohammed is saying there'll be war. Just imagine. My people are being killed. I'm rising up to defend them. You're saying that there'll be war. That means they own you. What these Alamajiris are doing, Niyati Yala and Junaid Mohammed, what they are doing in essence is to tell that they own you. You belong to them. And those making it easy for them to make such outlandish, ridiculous claims are the Ohaneses of this world and your stupid, compromised governors. Now, let me ask you this question. Do you think if they come into Imo State to keep what Hope Uzodinma will do anything? Do you think he will do anything? That is a continuation of that selection they've been doing. Of course, I'll come to Hope Uzodinma later on and look at their stupid judgment, because we have it. We have their stupid published judgment. Useless set of people. They say, I'm not insulting you, I'm telling you the truth. If you're foolish, I'll tell you you're foolish. Tomorrow, you like Biafra. It took them 50 years to realize that Biafra was right after all. What they are going through now in the West was what we went through 50 years ago. Because Britain told the Fulanis, the best thing to do is to attack the Igbos and subdue them. Once you attack them and get them, the rest will be loyal. And the rest foolishly joined to attack Biafra. That's what they did. And today everybody's paying the price in one way or the other. Communities are being burnt. People are now complaining. If you don't do this, we'll do this. If you don't do this, we'll do this. But when our fathers were telling you in 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, you never listened. Too little, too late, as they say. This is Radio Biafra. We are live and we are direct. It is 10 minutes to 10 minutes to 10 to 9, actually, in the blessed land of Biafra. This is a live presentation of Radio Biafra, dissecting the zoo for what it is. I want Biafran governors, let me put it that way, the whole of South, and Southeast, all of them, to listen to what I have to say. Very important. I want to quote what one person said, one of the governors of Yoruba land. And I have respect for this man. In fact, I'm so glad that sensible people like this actually exist in Yoruba land. I'm overjoyed. I'm so happy, honestly. You know what he said? I never thought I would live to see or hear the day that, see the day actually, that a politician will rise up in the zoo to utter these words. His name is Akeredolu. He is the chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum. He said, I am not bothered if Operation Amotekun will cost me second-term ambition. What else do you want him to say? Do you see an Igbo governor saying this? He said this, cost me my second term, where I'm serving my people. It's not possible. That's how you know people that love their nation. He loves Yoruba people, and I commend him for it. I like him for it. I can even say that I love him for it. This very man. This is how patriots speak. They have realized that Nigeria is a joke, is a sham. If you come to Abuja, you lie to me, I lie to you, we go our separate ways. But they are brave enough. A politician in Biafra has been accumulating wealth for the past 18 years. After governor, they went to Senate. They've been making money for 18 years. For 18 years non-stop. They cannot stand up and say such a thing. Never. But Yoruba man said it. And I admire him for it. Honestly speaking, I admire him for it. I admire him for it. Very, very much so. You have governors from the East that conspired to destroy DSS. No, they didn't destroy it actually. Our operation didn't, we wanted to be more visible. These days we are not visible anymore. But the work is still going on. As I said, if you're in doubt, go to, spend some of your time and go to Ebonyi and ask the villagers who are those fighting to defend them, and then you will know. In Biafra land, cattle destroyed a farmland where they have rice worth 17 million naira in Enugu. But from the same Enugu, you have one idiot on 2,000 naira from a Premado every week, writing epistle, writing rubbish. Pure rubbish. Every day, one nonsense or the other. Farmland destroyed. Livelihoods laid to waste. Who are those responsible? Those who are responsible are the same people telling you about the politics heating up, there is confrontation, there is insecurity. They are the ones causing the insecurity. They are the ones expected to tackle the insecurity. Isn't that very perverse? The same people causing the insecurity are the same people that people are relying on to bring an end to it. How is that possible? Just please explain to me in layman's terms. How is that possible? The same people creating the chaos. This farmland has been destroyed, 17 million in Enugu. We are not there to save them. We are not there to, because we have very limited resources. It's only IPOB worldwide that contribute the funds we use to fight all these battles across Biafra land, defending our land. Without IPOB, by now would have been gone. And the intel didn't come in on time. The farmland is gone, it's destroyed. But mind you, they have 14 settlements in Enugu. The Fulani, they have 14 settlements in Enugu. And so somebody's in America writing rubbish. Somebody's in Owani writing nonsense. But there are 14 settlements. Not the way you go in the north and you rent a house or you buy a piece of land and you build it. No. 14 settlements down the ground in Enugu. And next month, I said, oh, what was IPOB doing? That IPOB should have done something. There are mad people. Mad, insane people everywhere. Look at it. But of course, we'll go into Enugu to make sure that such nonsense doesn't happen again. Of course, the volunteer command, they know what to do. They must go into Enugu to make sure such rubbish doesn't happen again. So we are working. It's not because that we are not in the open that you think that nothing is happening. Of course, we are doing something. We are doing something. It was because they couldn't get through us. That's why they went to Yoruba land to try their luck. And now they have a motoku. So they are caught between devil and the hard place, to be honest with you. And the people doing these killings and their family members in the army and the police supporting them. I'm saying it, I've been saying it from day one. Nigerian army, Nigerian police, they are the same thing as Fulani headsmen, Boko Haram, ISIS in West Africa, and Al Qaeda in the Maghreb. Have you not asked yourself this question? How is it possible that in one country, from one particular region, from one tribe, you have 4 deadly terrorist groups? 4 operating at the same time. 4. And you're telling me there's hope. You can salvage Nigeria. Let me ask, how are you going to salvage it? Are you going to put every Alamajiri in school in the north? That is not possible. What sort of social provision are you going to? What are you going to do? Are there factories or industries or what? What are you going to do? The answer is nothing. Let's stop deceiving ourselves that somehow tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow will get worse. It can only get worse. That led the CAN, this same Christian Association of Nigeria, to ask the government to declare Miyetti Allah a terrorist group. How can the government declare itself a terrorist group? Miyetti Allah is the government. The government is a terror government. This Nigerian government, they are exporting, they are financiers, sponsors of terrorism. You need to understand that. How do you want them to now declare themselves terrorists? But they are the ones that rushed with the help of Igbo governors to declare IPOB a terrorist group. Sometimes, don't you people wonder sometimes the faces of, sometimes I wonder what the look any of these governors will be wearing on their face when they are talking about Amotekun and what their Yoruba counterparts are doing. Are they not ashamed of themselves? If I'm any of them, I will not even come outside anymore. If I am a governor, with the exception of Wike, if I am a governor in Biafra land, I will not come outside anymore. Shame won't allow me to, but they have no shame. They have no shame whatsoever. Shame will not allow me to come outside if I am a governor. Shame. Come and do what? So you're telling me that the governors of the West, those Yoruba men, they have more balls than you have. Is that what you're telling me? They are more manly than you are. But you have all the useless titles in the world. You do nothing for your people. You can't defend your people. And you say you're a governor. This same Miyetti Allah that is a terrorist group is the same group that Obiano is saying they are working with in Anambra. I want our people to reason. I need them to understand this. Those of you that have said that they voted for Apoga, you voted for Obiano. The same people that is in Obiano's government, the Christian Association of Nigeria, of which I believe Anambra is part of, is telling you that they're a terrorist group. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. People are so shameless. They are shameless. Shameless. Christian Association of Nigeria is telling you to declare Miyetti Allah a terrorist group because they are a terrorist group. They are Fulani headsmen. The 4th most brutal terror group in the world. Now I think they are number 2. The beheading is now fashionable because of them. That Obiano, the governor of Anambra, is telling you, I am working with them, but Khan is telling you that they are terrorists. And this Khan, especially their chairman, is not even a fan of Biafra. He believes in Nigeria of Yakubu Gowon, that one day everything will be okay. Of course, he's dreaming. That is why Britain doesn't want you to separate. You know, it's like, have you seen where killer whale is attacking sardines before? In fact, actually dolphin. Let me get it absolutely right. Have you seen before a school of sardines being attacked by dolphins? They head them into a pack. They get them to converge into a pack like a ball, and then they start attacking them, picking them off one after the other. By the time the feast is finished, there will be no single sardine left, because they huddled them together. Instead of them to disperse and run away, no, they keep heading them, getting them into a ball so they can feed off them. That's what Britain is doing to all of us. Britain is saying, oh, Nigeria is good, Nigeria is fine, one Nigeria, diversity, culture, as Fulani is doing their work, slaughtering us. And they're busy telling you, oh, one Nigeria, oh, Nigerian student did well in America. Nigeria student. Meanwhile, back home, the squeeze is on. By the time they finish with us, there'll be nobody left. And then you're Boko in America writing in the epistle, writing rubbish about IPOB. You won't find him anymore. That is how they flow. That is how they work. These people being declared that the Khan is asking or pleading to be declared a terrorist group. They are the one that the government. I'm telling you that they're all one. When I tell you something, I can go together. When I tell you something, I prove it. I don't just say anything. When I say, that is why they bribed Facebook to shut down my Facebook page. That is why they bribed Facebook. Any very strong Biafran activist on Facebook try to deny them space. Which is why I don't see the post of some of you anymore. When I tell you something, you believe me. With all the evidence available, it is very, very clear that who are the Mietiala? They are the people that move cattle now. They're the Fulani headsmen. Are they not a terrorist group? Of course they are. Everyone knows that. Now listen to this. The presidency of Nigeria said in a statement by Garuba Shehu that Mieti Allah is a legal stakeholder in our nation and should be respected. What else do you want to hear from me? That the fourth most deadly terrorist group in the world is a legitimate legal stakeholder in our nation and should be respected. Which nation are you talking about? A Fulani nation? I hope the whole thing is making sense now. I hope it is making sense. And I've been told that people are asking what is the way forward, as if they've not been they didn't join this program on time. There's only one solution: the solution of Nigeria, the solution of that very PLC, the solution of that abomination, the solution of that contraption. I keep saying it over and over again. If you like, you go and take a rope and hang yourself. I don't give a damn. Anybody who believes in Nigeria is lower than an animal. If you call yourself a Nigerian proudly, believe you me, a dog is better than you. I don't see you as a human being. That means you cannot reason very well. You can never ever reason very well. Mieti Allah is a legal stakeholder in Nigeria. Mieti Allah is the fourth largest terror group in the world. But they prescribed IPOB. Malami, who is a terrorist himself, prescribed IPOB. And some of you were clapping. And I'm sure that a tinge of shame must have afflicted all those in Yoruba media that supported the prescription of IPOB. See, Igbo governors. They ran immediately. Hey, tell us what to do. Please, I'm back here. Tell us, what do you want us to do? We'll do it for you. They said, go and kill Nnamdi Kanu. Go to his house and kill everybody there. Oh, please go. Let's prescribe them first. Let's look at Yoruba governors. And another idiot will wake up tomorrow morning and tell you, the governors are doing very well. Can't you see? Our governors are doing very well. But compare the activities with that of their counterparts in Yoruba land. And to reinforce what I'm saying about working together, Autumn of Benue State, if you go it alone, you will fail. Get all the other states around Benue, around the Middle Belt, to form your own Amoteku. The same thing should happen everywhere. Everybody should have the right to defend themselves. Once you do it, you see Fulani will retreat. But will Nigeria get better? Of course not, because they are there everywhere. How are you going to do it? As one person cleverly wrote, I'm telling you, some people are very funny. Somebody wrote today, and I was reading it before I came on air. Some people are too intelligent. He said, you're talking about presidency going to an Igbo man or whoever, or maybe Tinubu. All they need to do, and the North will do, is they will just increase their bombing here and there. And once they do it, UN will say, things are not working. Remember how you used to speak under Jonathan? Things are not working. We need a strong general from... Who are the generals you have? I don't know if all from the North. Maybe they'll run and contest and he will win. Tinubu's media will wash him and present him to you gullible fools in Nigeria, and you accept. You swallow it hook, line, and sinker. Somebody who came out and said, I will support Sharia openly to advance the Sharia cause in Nigeria. Somebody came and told you he's a reformed Democrat and you agreed. That shows how useless you are. You are very, very foolish. That is why you're suffering. You are suffering your stupidity. You are suffering your hopelessness. You are suffering your greed and your envy. You think, or you thought you were spitting Biafrans. You thought you spat IPOB. You're spitting Nnamdi Kanu. Let's go and be one Nigeria. Look at the result now. What's it to go? You'll be lucky if you come out with your head in it. I'm sure most of you, your livelihoods are gone because you are in a zoo, because you have refused to reason, because you have refused to accept the inevitable, which is that the zoo will break. It will break, and there is nothing anybody can do about it. What do we have? What do we have to counter them? The only group you have, the only people you have to defend the entire East, not just Southeast, but South, is IPOB. No other set of people can. We have the numbers and we have the men. Who on my command will die any day? I command it. If I give command, everywhere there'll be chaos. Don't you know that? Is it because we kept quiet all this while? Waiting for the right time. Waiting for the right time. As I said, within 2 weeks we'll be in Sokoto. I assure you of that. Write it down. Write it down on the Sokoto. Within 2 weeks we'll be in Sokoto. And we'll see that monster. I want to see that thing they kept in Sokoto. I want to see it with my 2 eyes. Kenyan had in Sokoto. What is it that the caliphate kept in Sokoto that is holding everybody bondage? Everybody's acting like an idiot, like a fool. I want to see that nonsense myself. And that time is fast approaching. Some idiots hiding under the very respectable and hallowed Joy Youth Council is there accepting crumbs from DSS. Your DSS handler is a Fulani man. Fulani people are in your village killing people and you're giving him information. Are you not a fool? Are you not a fool, I'm asking? Are you not an idiot? Serving one Nigeria, whereas your village is under siege. Nonsense. Issuing stupid statement. Who is the idiot that can say you ban IPOB in Bayelsa? Are you drunk? Nigerian government could not ban IPOB. Nobody could stop IPOB. Talkers of one riffraff who's not had a clean bath in weeks, talking rubbish about IPOB. I will find you. You've done nothing about your villages being burnt, about the communities we have in Biafra being burnt in a Jaland to write rubbish about IPOB. Some idiotic journalists agreed to publish such nonsense. Useless fools. When it comes to Biafra, you found them out to talk. When Fulani is in your house destroying you, you cannot say anything. You start looking for IPOB to come and fight for you. Who do you think will save you? Who do you think if we allow you to, if we ask you to go tonight and raise an alarm? Let us see how many people will answer you. And ask IPOB to do the same thing. And you see what will happen. Then you know how strong we are. Go and collect money from DSS and issue another. They'll write another useless rubbish for you. Maybe this time regarding, maybe from, they'll go and get one idiot from Akwa Ibom to write another rubbish. But of course, Akwa Ibom won't fall for that crap. After all, they are even more Biafran than we are. This is the advantage that the Fulanis have, the Caliphate have over all of us. Some of us, peanuts, chicken change. You betray your people, you betray your life, you betray your family, you betray your friends, you betray your nation. Because of peanuts. Because of peanuts. The Fulani people are desperate to command an access route to the sea. Let me repeat. They are very, very desperate. The worst thing the Yorubas can do is to water down Amotekun. If the Yorubas attempt to water down Amotekun, if they give up, if they cave into this blackmail, we will never ever work with them forever and ever. Listen very carefully. The Yorubas must understand this, please. With so much love and so much regard and respect, we will do all we can to support. In any way imaginable, we'll do so. Never, ever, ever, ever retreat. Because if you retreat, they will encircle you. Write it down. Today is 24th. Write it down. Today is 24th of January, 2020. If you water down Amotekun, they will move. They will take your land over. They will have access to the sea. Once they have done that, the rest is just a joke. We're all gone. Understand this very well. Understand this very, very well. Very, very critical. Understand this. As long as you remain strong, I worship is my witness. We will commit everything committable to the cause that you're pursuing, which is to defend lives and properties of your people. And let me also say this. When next we come out in public, because we will, in time to come, in a grand style, we'll come. When we do, I want to let Nigerians understand one simple thing. BSS was formed to defend our land against Fulani invasion, not to divide Nigeria. You must understand this. I personally, as the leader of IPOB, will not sanction nor allow any carving out of Biafra from the zoo without the consent of the people of Biafra. They must give us their consent first before we do anything. Very, very critical. You know the mama look at you. Oh, who did that tell? They are doing their own. You know how some of them are. You know them. So any security outfit that we do have is purely to secure our land and has nothing, I repeat, absolutely nothing to do with secession, breaking, division, war. Because these are the favorite words. Secession, breaking the union, the unity of the country, war. Words. It's just to defend our land. Our people, Biafran people, must decide. By Biafran people, I mean all the Biafrans in Igala, the Biafrans in Benue, the Biafrans in Edo, the Biafrans in Delta, the Biafrans in Anambra, in Enugu, in Ebonyi, in Abia, in Imo, the Biafrans in Cross River, the Biafrans in Akwa Ibom, the Biafrans in Rivers, and the Biafrans in Bayelsa, and also Biafrans in Delta. They must all vote and agree, ethnicity by ethnicity, clan by clan, to say we want to be part of Biafra. Let me make this very clear for that idiot, that Yoruba boy in IYC. I don't know how he managed to get that position in IYC. I want to make this very clear for everybody to understand. Our referendum will be based on ethnicity. Igbos will vote to join Biafra or not. Idoma will vote. Igede will vote. Ibanke will vote. And Nyoma will, everybody will vote one clan by clan to decide. Maybe at the end of the day, the Igbos may say they want to be part of Nigeria. And Ibibia will say they want to be part of Biafra. If that happens, I'll simply pack my things and move to Ibibioland to go and live. As simple as that. I want people to get this into your skull. We are not going to force anybody. Nobody is forcing anybody to do anything. At the right time, we will ask the relevant questions. Do you want to be part of Biafra or part of Nigeria? Choose one. End of story. Everything we are doing now is to secure our land security-wise from the influx and the invasion that is coming. That's all we are doing. Anything we are doing in terms of security is to secure our land, not to carve out Biafra. No. Hold me to these words. It is not to carve out Biafra, not at all. Biafra must come via a referendum. We must ask our people their mind and their opinion, and they must give it freely in a ballot. That is the only way we can get Biafra. That's the only way I intend to pursue Biafra, no other way. Peacefully. But I will also get to Sokoto eventually. We'll go there and see that thing that is that made it possible for illiterates to be ruling over people who are educated. I just want to understand the magic they did. How was it possible? How? I want to know. Our people must be very, very careful. As usual, they have come with their religion in. I must emphasize this. The Alamajiri have come with their religion inside Bayelsa. Very, very important. Most of our people in southern Biafra has fallen for this con. It is a very massive fraud and have duty to protect our land. They must understand this. Most of them have also converted to Islam, which is a precursor to paving the way for Islamic invasion of our land, especially the coastal areas. In effect, parts of Niger Delta will be turned into Fulani vassal colonies in years to come if some of these informants and caliphate agents are not rooted out by IYC. I am telling IYC today so they understand this very well, because I have a lot of regard and respect for IYC. Heaven knows this, I do. IYC must be very, very careful. There are Fulani agents who are within. They will sell anything for money. And we must not allow them to gain a foothold. Some of them are following in the footsteps of those who have gone before them. Betraying Biafra never pays. Go back to history. Betraying Biafra never ever pays. If the Yorubas, as I said earlier, know today, if they had known before what they know today, they would not have betrayed Biafra. And I say it again and again and again. Our oil and gas will be placed at the disposal of the United Nations. A committee will be formed to ensure that everybody receive what is due to them. We are not fighting for Biafra because of oil and gas. We are doing it just for our freedom. The world must understand this. We will gladly hand over our oil and gas to a United Nations supervised committee. Gladly. We just want to be free, to build a civilization that the whole of Africa will be proud of. To let the world know you don't need to depend on oil and gas in order to make a living. Anybody that betrayed Biafra is suffering today. The Yorubas, if they're not suffering, they won't have formed a Moteku, will they? The Middle Belt is ravaged, almost gone. Even our own flesh and blood, our fellow Biafrans in Bayelsa. Some of them that said no to Biafra via Edwin Clark, because I speak the truth. Edwin Clark was a traitor during the war. Edwin Clark was a saboteur during the war. He was offered commissioner for information. Go and ask him. And he accepted it to betray Biafra. Today, his Bayelsa is burning, isn't it? That is the truth. I tell you the truth. Go and ask. He was made the federal commissioner for information because he betrayed Biafra. And they say, oh, you could never consult. How can you consult anybody when enemies are at the door? You see that the governors of the West have convened a Moteku I want to please forgive me if I get the pronunciation wrong. They never informed their houses of assembly because they know if they do that, it will leak. They move very speedily to go and form it. The same thing happened to Jew. There was no time for consultation because our people were being slaughtered in the north. The same thing that is happening today has happened before because, as I told you a while back, history has a very funny way of repeating itself all over again. What is happening today has happened before. What has happened before will always happen again if you don't take time. That is why we are trying and seeking to stop it. And we must. We must stop the advancement of the fallen, or else we are finished. So all those, there is hunger everywhere. We know that everybody is hungry, everybody is suffering. Kidnapping will not save you. Will not save any of us. A life of crime will not save any. Rather than belonging to a cult, belonging to a kidnapping group, rather than doing all, why don't you channel that effort into a revolution? After the revolution, everybody will be comfortable. I don't know how black people reason. Instead of us, everybody struggling on their own, trying to make ends meet. You're into kidnapping. This one is into cultism. This one is into selling hard drugs. All those things are a waste of energy and resources. We put it together. We fight this monster. We fight this deprivation. We fight this poverty together. We fight this Fulani backwardness together. And we win. We emerge. We build a new nation. Everybody will have a job. There will be homes, schools, hospitals. Oh dear. I don't know how else they want us to do this, honestly speaking. How else do you want me to explain this to you? How else? How else? Unbelievable. What are you smoking in their hemp for? What are you taking drugs for? You're in the village. You're doing cult in the village. Fulani people are coming to your village and killing people, and you're doing cultism. Just tell me one single benefit that will bring to your life. One single one. Because you have no shame. That's why you're doing cultism. When Biafra comes, there'll be jobs for everybody because we will build Biafra for 75 years. We will build Biafra for 24 hours every day. We will build roads every blessed day. Morning, noon, and night, we are working. We will work for 75 years. Some of us won't be alive by then. For 75, Biafra will work to build that very nation. That the world may know that we are hardworking people. You're joining cult. You're joining this group. Are you not foolish? Are you not foolish? If you don't have anything to do, you go and join IPOB volunteers and go and fight Fulani headsmen in Ebonyi. We have vacancies. We can accommodate as many people as possible. We feed, we clothe, we arm. For your information, you're busy doing cult in a township. When Fulani people are in the farms raping our mothers, you're in the town doing cultism. Are you not foolish? We must behave. We must behave. Betraying Biafra will never pay anybody. And if you're in cult, you're also betraying Biafra anyway. Because that time you're using in cultism, we could use it meaningfully in driving and pushing the Janjaweed, Miyet Yala, Fulani terrorists back. Nonsense. Nonsense. And what has led them to be making all these useless comments about us? Because Southwest and Southeast traditional rulers gave support to IPOB. That they want Biafra. That's what our royal fathers are saying. That they want Biafra. And Biafra we shall have. Who's going to stop us? Who is going to stop us? Now the zoo is in the ban. Because of the activities of Minyeti Yala, because of the activities of Fulani people, now if you want to go to America and have a child, it's no longer possible. Because the name of Nigeria is going on the list of the countries that are going to ban. Some of you go to America to have your kids, isn't it? It's no more going to happen. Once you're pregnant, why? Because of Fulani, the same people. They have taken everything from you. They have taken your life, taken your economy, taken your reasoning, everything. Even that one that you can afford to give your child a good start in life. But I'm not condoning it. But Nigeria is a zoo. We're full of wild beasts. So if you have an opportunity to go and give birth to a child in America, why won't you do it? Why not? Because Nigeria is unsalvaged. You cannot save Nigeria. Who can? Nobody can. Trump has now added the zoo to their list of countries under their travel ban. You can no longer go to US to go and have babies. Not possible. Courtesy of Abba Kyari and Jubril al-Sudani. And tomorrow you say I'm a proud Nigerian. There are mad people everywhere. And they have started their jam offensive. The EU commissioner came to Asarok, and they say he saw, but of course it's Jubril. They said he saw Buhari. The same Buhari that never showed up in London. No? He never appeared at the banquet. He never showed up. Jubril. Because they didn't prepare him on time to look like the dead Buhari. He's saying that people were treated in the most humane way during Biafra. People underestimate IPOB. Do you seriously think we just fold our arms every day? We're going on social media and broadcasting. So you don't know we are doing something? Do you know why the EU commissioner asked him about the Biafra war? Do you know? For those who said, oh, they didn't go to EU, they were treated in the most humane way, which is a lie. And in the fullness of time, don't they know that? They know. It was reported by an online newspaper. Listen very carefully. I assure you of Nigeria's commitment to enhance and deepen cooperation with the EU in all areas. Our priorities in the next level is to ensure that internally displaced persons who cost IDP to start with. This is Abba Kyari. Let me say Abba Kyari. This is Abba Kyari talking to EU because Abba Kyari is the ruler of Nigeria, not Jubril. Their concern is not the terrorism that they have established in the zoo. It is the IDPs. These are people who fled from their homes to escape Boko Haram onslaught that these same people financed. Now, the problem they're telling the EU is the IDPs. And somehow, sometimes I believe that the world is also, maybe they don't want, not maybe, of course, some of them don't want Biafra to come because they know that if Biafra comes, Africa will get developed. That's the truth, honestly speaking. And they don't want it. So they prefer to be dealing with idiots from the north. It's better for them, these idiots that will keep Africa very impoverished, keep Africa very primitive and very poor. That's what he's telling him. Telling EU commissioner. I think his name is Hannes Lenachich. Said if I were able to fight a 30-month war and organize our country, I wonder why people are thinking that Nigeria cannot do it. Can you believe such nonsense? You fought a 30 months. Yeah, this is the rubbish that angers me all the time. I want to let the whole world understand, and again and again and again, that the lives of Obasanjo, Danjuma, Murtala Mohammed, Babangida, Usman Hassan Katsina, you people never defeated Biafra. Stop deluding yourselves. You never did. It was Britain, Russia, Egypt that ganged up and defeated Biafra, not you. Stop ascribing this relevance to yourselves when you don't merit it. We fought under international blockade, air, land, and sea for 3 years. And we held out against Russian MiGs. We held out against Kalashnikov, assault rifles of all makes. We held out against Egyptian pilots. We held out against OAU troops. That same Biafra. You're here boasting. Can you fight a war? Ordinary Boko Haram, Chad is helping you, Niger is helping you, and you claim you defeated Biafra. Who in your dreams, who told you? Who is the bastard that will say they defeated Biafra? Who is the idiot that will say that? Which Biafra did you defeat? I ask. Which Biafra is that? The Biafra that Britain was conniving with the communist country, with USSR, to supply arms to Nigeria. When they go and they say no arms to any side, Bloody liars! You defeated which? Who defeated Biafra? Who is the person? Who is the person? Harold Wilson, maybe, not you, or those of you speaking on behalf of a dead man somewhere in Saudi Arabia. Funny people, no shame. The press cannot ask him, where were you last Saturday in London? Where were you? Were you at the banquet or not? They cannot ask. They have reported, oh, Buhari said. But Buhari was not at the banquet, which means Buhari is not alive. It's very simple thing, common sense. The time now I've been I don't know. I hope that people can still stay a bit further because we have a lot to cover, to be honest with you. I don't know if they want me to close, I will close. But this very gospel is very, very critical. Very, very critical. Very, very critical. I don't know if those of them listening to us via Radio Biafra page is still there. I need confirmation that Radio Biafra page, that our streaming on Radio Biafra page is still on, please. Because from here it is indicating that it's not on. So I need confirmation, please. Deputy, can you confirm that Radio Biafra page is on? I need confirmation that Radio Biafra page is on. I want it confirmed. I need it confirmed that we are live and direct on Radio Biafra page. I need confirmation. Very, very important, please, because I cannot see anything. I cannot see anything here. If that is the case, then we may have to restart that all over again. Facebook is doing their best to shut us down, but we are speaking the truth, and that truth is that the zoo must fall. The zoo must fall. It doesn't matter what they do. Eventually, the zoo will collapse. They will try as much as they can. They will get tired of trying, and we will prevail. We will prevail. We will prevail. We will prevail. This is Radio Biafra. We are live and we are direct. Facebook cannot stop us. They cannot shut us down. We are going ahead. We are marching forward. Miyet Yala is under retreat. They tried the Yoruba. They have failed as well. There is nothing they can do. Abels can only produce a president with the blessing of the North. You don't even need the North's blessing. They will lie down for you and you march on their heads. Anything you want, they will do for you. You don't even need to dangle anything in front of them. They will do anything you ask them to do in order to become relevant. When Danjuma said, defend yourselves or die, what do you think he was talking about? I think he said it precisely on the, when did Danjuma say this? Danjuma said this sometime in 2018. And that was the man that they lied to. He killed Ironsi. They lied to him and told him that Igbos are the problem. They will dominate you. He joined his Fulani masters to do the hangman's job for the caliphate. Eventually, they came to his hometown and they killed his people. Betraying Biafra never pays. That is, I'm just reading out all these things so that the world will know that betraying Biafra never ever pays anybody at all. You will end up regretting it. Even Miyeti Yala themselves, the terrorists, they have said, they don't put notice, Yoruba, you must leave the North. If you do a Motekun, you leave the North. That is what they always do. Once you rise up to fight and defend your right, they say you must leave the North, as if there's something in the North. If there's something in the North, why are they driving their cattle to the South? This, they are not. You leave the North. If there is, and the North is only Sokoto. Outside the Sokoto, which is Gobe, that belong to the Hausas, before the Hausas, foolishly, I must say. The Hausa people, foolishly, the same thing that the whole puts on the mouths of this world are now doing. The same thing that some idiots in IYC are now doing. The same rubbish Hausa did, and Fulani overran them. Fulani overran them. The Fulani is only Sokoto, Gobe only. They are saying the North, you think they own everywhere. No, they don't. It's just that they have subdued the entire Middle Belt because they lied to them that the best people to fight are Biafrans, and they joined them. And look at where we are today. They are talking about IDP, whereas Boko Haram is taking over places. Boko Haram is now setting up checkpoints everywhere. So we no longer know which one is a genuine army checkpoint and which one is a Boko Haram or terrorist checkpoint. Nobody knows anymore. The zoo is in a mess. Nigeria has effectively collapsed. The only place holding the zoo together are some of the Biafran people living in the north and just Abuja. Only that's all. The rest has fallen to terrorism. Who brought the terrorists in? Who brought them in? The same people, the same Fulani cabal, the same caliphate, the same Sultan of Sokoto. They want to conquer people. They want to take over people's homes and their lands. They have failed very woefully. They have failed completely. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever will they succeed. They will never, ever succeed. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. Because we have IPOB and we have opened the eyes of the people. They thought they didn't reckon on IPOB coming. They didn't reckon on IPOB coming. Thank you, Kejibu from Israel. One of us telling me that we are streaming okay on the Biafra page. I'm very, very grateful for that piece of information. Residents flee as Boko. These are the people that told you that Boko Haram has been weakened. We have defeated them. I'm asking Britain, where are you? Madam High Commissioner, you no longer talk. The US ambassador to Nigeria, you can no longer speak. All of a sudden, a Muslim is in power and all of you are paralyzed. Should I say a Muslim? Should I say a Fulani cabal? You can no longer speak. You can no longer talk. This is the same lies. Give us arms. 1 to 5 Boko Haram. You give them arms and they bring it down to the south. All the arms that America is giving to this regime in Nigeria, this satanic regime in Nigeria, they bring to the south to kill innocent people. You pump money to the north, they come to the south, and they are destroying lives and properties. And whilst Boko Haram is taking over areas of the north. This is from their own paper, Daily Trust. This is from their own Alamajiri newspaper, Daily Trust. Residents flee as Boko Haram takes over Damaturu Maiduguri Road. You see, this is more IDPs. This is, as they say in my villages, Akansi Madhong. They thought they had escaped. You know, they were seeing Biafran children, Biafran refugees, and they were laughing and clapping for themselves. Today, they have the refugee crisis. You know that our God is miraculous, very wonderful God. As I said, in 2012, everybody that ever rose up against Biafra will suffer. Go back to my broadcast, I said it. Once you rose up, I don't care if you're from Sokoto, you're from Gombe, you're from Adamawa. Once you rose up against Biafra, you will suffer it. Are they not suffering it today? Before the Yorubas from Namoteco did it, they did not suffer it. They suffered the humiliation as well. Our own flesh and blood. Biafrans, our own nation, Biafrans, are they not suffering it today? Who is not suffering? Tell me who rose against Biafra that is not suffering today in the zoo called Nigeria. Everybody is. Everybody is. That is why Boko Haram is wreaking havoc. You can never solve the problem forever and ever. You know the funniest thing about this God that we worship, the same God of Eri, the same God of our ancestors, the same God of Abraham, of Jacob, of Isaac, the same God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the same God. Never change. Change it not. It doesn't matter. Never ever changes. He will use people to punish his children, but eventually he will visit those people with calamity upon calamity. Go and ask anywhere. So my happiness today as a Biafran is that after all said and done, God loves Biafra more than any other group of people. Go and put it there. Say, I told you so. That is why I'm telling, I said it in 2012. I want Chinasa, the deputy chairman, go and find that very broadcast. I said, everybody that had a hand in the suffering of Biafran children will suffer. I said it. Is it not happening today? How many IDP, how many refugees do you have in the north? Out of shame, they cannot even say it. All Junaid Mohammed does every day, Alamajri, come out and talk rubbish. You're starting war. You're causing war. Rubbish. And the idiots will say, elder statesman, Second Republic statesman. Writing rubbish. Nonsense. Elder statesman, you cannot cure the disease that you planted in your own society. You wanted to get rid of Jonathan. And you wanted to prove to your Arab friends that Nigeria is a Muslim country. So we must go in. Let's bring in our troops, our terrorists. Now that terrorist is like a cancer and is devouring you. You can come push the South as much as you like. If the Yorubas like it, they can let you in. But not in Biafra land, you can't. They've tried it, but they couldn't get in. Enugu is where it is leaking. Enugu now. The same way Enugu stupidly fell only after 3 months. Enugu is now again succumbing. But we must go there. We must go there. We are live and we are direct. If your data finishes, you go and join your neighbor. If you don't have data, go and join your neighbor, go and join your friends. And listen to this very broadcast. It's very important. Very, very important. Because the whole world, I said the whole world is listening. When we preach this gospel, the world comes to a standstill. Even heaven will testify to this very fact. We are under divine instruction. All I'm doing is to pass a message. That is why everything we say comes to. It must come to pass. Why won't it come to pass? We are under divine instruction, so it must come to pass. Why wouldn't it? Do you think I'm somebody waiting for APC to bring money or PDP to bring money so I can talk rubbish or get information from Supreme Court and talk nonsense? Everything we say is precise. Absolutely precise. And it comes to pass. They invade and they burn. And the north, they're streaming into refugee camps. And we no longer know who is who. Are you the people must actually sit and ask themselves these questions, you know, especially Khan and T.Y. Danjuma and all the rest of them. Are you fighting Boko Haram? Are you fighting Fulani headsmen, which is Mieti Allah? Are you fighting Al Qaeda in the Maghreb? Are you fighting ISIS in West Africa? Or are you fighting bandits? Because when did this one? This was around, I think it was around the 16th of this month. Bandits killed 29 in Zamfara village. Zamfara is on fire. Even that girl that used to work for Channels TV, the Hausa girl, I don't know what her name is. Is it Ahmed or something? She ran away from Zamfara. They are no longer there. I can't see how to go on. The hand with which they dealt poison to Biafra that made Biafra to lose 5 million souls has gone into their mouth and is consuming them. The wrath of God is upon them. They can never escape this very judgment. 29 killed in Zamfara. Everywhere there is death and mayhem in this zoo. Death and destruction every blessed day. And you say you have a government? And you claim you have a government? You must be dreaming. You must have taken leave of your senses. You do not have a government. You have a band of terrorists in charge of governance in Nigeria with the help of the British. That's all you have. And it will consume everybody. Unless you rise up and you fight it. Unless you rise up and you fight it, it will consume everybody in the process. And as some of them are beginning to say, oh, that Rabu Rasa, that troublemaker, that Nnamdi Kanu, he's right after all. Of course, I've been right all along. Don't you know that? Oh, you thought one, I just got up and walked into a radio station and started broadcasting? We are under divine instruction, for goodness sake. We are under divine instruction. They common Boko Haram they cannot defeat. Ordinary, which they themselves funded. They, when Buhari was alive, all of them, they got together with the Sultan of Sokoto. They planned and they funded Boko Haram. They started all these terror groups. When Boko Haram targeted only Muslims, I shouldn't say only, when Boko Haram targeted both Christians and Muslims in the north, the same Buhari formed, called Al-Banawi and formed ISIS. He formed ISIS. They think they're dealing with children. They don't know who we are. They don't know the extent we go to dig out information. They have no idea. Only if they know. Fighting us is meaningless. The only solution is Biafra. Let everybody go and be free. If you want our oil, I swear upon my life and before God in heaven, all the oil and gas in Biafra land will be made available to each and every unit that comprises the zoo called Nigeria. I swear it. So oil and gas is not our problem. Take your bloody oil. We don't need it. We don't need it. I'm telling you the truth. We don't. Nigeria cannot defeat Honor Boko Haram. They have gone to Egypt again. Nigeria army to strengthen military cooperation with Egypt. You know why? Because the soldiers from Chad left. The ones from Niger, they've gone back. That is why you see Boko Haram all over the place. When Chadians were there, Cameroonians were there, and they contained them. Now they have gone there from to look at Buratai. Buratai never commanded. My goodness, I don't know what is wrong with us in this UG. Buratai never went to. He didn't have a distinguished career. Never went to war anywhere. Never commanded troops in battle anywhere. The highest battle he has ever fought in his life was the storming of my house. The highest battle Lieutenant General Toko Buratai ever fought in his life was to come to Isiama Afara to storm my house to kill unarmed people. 28 of my men. That is his battle. A general. Some of you that live in civilized countries, people with common sense who can reason. How many times have you heard about a general? Anywhere in the world, once you're in a civilized country, have you heard of somebody called a general on TV talking rubbish? A general before? Unless they are going to war, unless there is war, then they appoint an overall commander. You will hear from him, and he will tell you we are going to do this, and they will go and they will come back. This one is just here running from Ondo State to Ogun State, running from Ogun State to Adamawa, saying he's a general. In your country, you're a general, an army. The Constitution was designed. The Constitution said that the army must fight to protect the country from external aggression. But the Almajiri, they didn't go to school. They don't know. All that concerns them is anything that can keep the oil and gas money coming to the north. That's what matters to them. That is why NNPC is theirs. For the idiots who, some of them who went, OYC, talking rubbish. No, IYC, sorry. Who control? They said Igbos are coming to dominate. Who is controlling NNPC? Who controls it? Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, whatever it's called. Who is there? Is it an Ijaw man? Is it an Ikwere man? I'm asking. Is it an Ogoni man? But the person occupying it is the same person that told you Igbo man is your problem. Do you see how foolish you are? Do you see how hopeless you are? Do you see how daft you are? It's a very simple truth. You may not like it, but it's the truth. Now they're in Egypt. They claim that the giant of Africa, this giant of Africa is now in Egypt begging. Some of you claim giant of Africa, and I'm telling you that the world knows that Buhari is dead. Because you know what is called international diplomatic protocol? Do you know that the zoo, by virtue, Nigeria, by virtue of his stand in Africa, that anytime there is any official photograph, especially the one that was taken in London, he should be on the right-hand side of the host, which is British Prime Minister, or the anybody appointed by the monarchy to represent them, in this case, Prince William. How can you claim you are the giant of Africa and they have regard for Rwanda more than you? You know, Nigerians are so daft. They claim they know something different. No, honestly speaking to God, they know nothing. Then their brain is empty. Are you telling me that US government will go to NATO meeting or go to maybe the World Economic Summit in Davos, and then Trump will be on the 3rd or the 5th from the chief host? You are dreaming. They are the giant of the world. You will have to be very close by, next to that very person. This one says giant of Africa. There's I don't know if it's Egypt or Ghana to the right, and to the left is the Rwandan president. And then you saw the cockroach Jubilee. They put him there, and he was struggling to try and run away. Not the banquet, I mean the photo call. It was when he now went to the banquet that they said, you must remove your hat. You know that Yoweri Museveni was there as well. I'm sorry to digress. You know, he wears the same cowboy cap from Texas. I don't know if they have Texas Rangers in Uganda. I have no idea. But he wears a Texas hat, a Texas Ranger hat. Yoweri Museveni, the president of Uganda. He got there and they told him, you must take it off. And he took it off. Once the Jubilee had that you must take off, he first of all detoured to the toilet. From there he ran away. Jubilee, he couldn't come out. That is a giant of Africa. Our president is back and receiving the EU. Why didn't you show yourself in England, in London, where they did your surgery? Why didn't you show yourself there? Because they know who you are. After all, you did the surgery there. The Queen wrote a condolence message to the dead Buhari. That is why you can no longer pretend. They did a photo op of Photoshop, sorry, of Jubilee looking another way when the Queen was shaking the hand of one Alamajiri lady like that. Unbelievable. They have gone to Egypt to go and beg. Tomorrow they say, oh, with the Boko Haram, our boys are fighting. But they have gone to Egypt to go and beg. Because Chad is gone, Niger is gone, Cameroon is gone. Boko Haram is now everywhere in the north. That's why you've gone to Egypt. Our army, our boys. I'm looking at the idiots, our army, our military men. Go there and let Boko Haram do mincemeat with you. And in your next life, you will learn not to fight for Alamajiri. They created Boko Haram, they should go and fight it themselves. They should go and fight it themselves. The structure to avoid civil war. That's all they know. Go on. The structure that IPOB made possible as a discourse in the zoo. It was, you may not like, some people may not like it, but it is the truth. Without IPOB, there will be no talk of restructure. None whatsoever. And they know it. That's why they're terrified. Let's rush and prescribe them. But when Boko Haram was killing people, bombing innocent people to smithereens, Jonathan wanted to prescribe Boko Haram. Buhari said no. But in our case of IPOB, it was actually the Igbo governors who were encouraging the government. Oh, please come. We are here. We're your loyal servants. We'll serve you. Any way you want it. We'll give it to you, but please ban them. And today, women are being raped to death in Ebonyi. People are being slaughtered. Farmlands are being taken over in Enugu, 14 settlements, and people are there. They cleverly divert the attention away from the crux of the matter, from the main issue at hand. Who betrayed IPOB? Amongst the governors and Ohanese, who betrayed IPOB? Shame won't allow them to come out in the open to comment anymore. Shame. The governors of the Middle Belt have said that they will do something resembling Amoteku. Have they said anything? The answer is no. Oh, they copied it from us. From you. From who? Where? When? How? Very funny people. Very funny people. Indeed. Very funny people. And they said, oh, we need more. People keep us, oh, but why do you want to have a Moteku? You have the police, you have the army. Oh, is it the same police that are selling people to ritualists for 80,000 naira that you want to run to defend you? Eh? Is it the same police? I want to ask them. People say, oh, we have, of course, Fulani headsmen. We say, oh, we have the police here, we have the army. Is it army that is busy burning villages? And police busy selling people in Kwara State that you want to run to defend you against terrorists? I'm just asking you. This is Nigerian police reported by the commissioner of police in Kwara State, Lawan Ado, yesterday said the command had redeployed policemen at the Adewole Police Division in Ilorin over an allegation against them. Ado explained that some residents had alleged that some of the policemen in the division had been selling suspects. It's not funny, but Nigeria, God, who made that place? I, I hope that Lugard is roasting in hell, honestly. It's not funny. I do seriously apologize, honestly. I apologize. They are selling one in Nigeria. One detainee is 80,000 naira. 80,000 naira is about $220. I'm sorry, I don't want to laugh, but it's perverse, honestly. In Nigeria now, if you're having kidney issues or you want your pancreas changed or liver or kidney, you come to Kwara State in a Lorin. The commissioner of police there is Lawan Ado. You approach him, you give him 80,000 naira, which is 8,000 naira. Sorry, it's about maybe $270. They give you one live healthy man to go and do with as you please. $280. We give you one healthy man, a healthy Nigerian man in Kwara State. You can cut him up, you can behead him, you can cut off his arms, you can decide to conduct an emergency surgery, cut open his stomach, take out all his entries. There is no problem. It's 80,000 you've paid. Nigerian police. These are the people you want to defend Yoruba land. Maybe as the Fulani herdsmen are coming, they'll be capturing people and giving to them for 80,000 naira. This is the police. Nigerian police selling people for 80,000 naira. They are the people that you want to defend Yoruba land. Please carry on with your Amoteku, please, Yoruba people. Don't listen to those Janjaweed and Amachiri from them. They're just making noise. They can't do anything. My offer still stands, 1 million men. Don't go back. 1 million men. If they want to know if we command such men, they should try to invade Yoruba land. Some people don't understand. They keep saying, oh, you have not done your own. I say, because you're daft. You don't know history. Yorubas were the people that supported the Fulanis to attack and kill Biafrans. Now it's biting them. Allow them to start it first. It's up to them to start first. And we support. And that's exactly what we are doing. And that's exactly what we are doing. We must do it. We must do it. Very, very important. They are selling detainees. Only some of the news. I'm not. Will the what are the ambassadors actually doing in Abuja? Are you telling me they're not aware of all these things that is going on? And when you thought it couldn't, I know that people are complaining about their data. If they want me to stop, I will stop. If our people are complaining of data and they want me to stop, I will stop. But I have to proceed. Our children in Katsina. The whole thing is, it gets messier and messy. And people are saying that they're Nigerians. Our children in Katsina are not Nigerians, according to Masari. The governor, Aminu Masari, the governor of Katsina State, the state from which Buhari comes from, is telling people there that the children there, 996,000, maybe just in the capital alone, they are not from the state. They are from Niger. And your honor, these are the people that people are saying, let's build Nigeria and grow the economy. Or Commander, are you counting all these people as well from Niger? You might as well annex Niger Republic and then develop it at the same time, then it will make sense to us. Are these the people? Are these the people that you're telling me you are one Nigeria? Let's close the border. If the borders in the north were shut, how would you have 1 million children from Niger Republic in Katsina? But in the south, your borders are closed, and all of you kept quiet. Oh dear. And this is the Nigeria that Britain wants you to build and grow together in diversity. Let's diversify. Let's embrace diversity. This is it. Oh. Let's embrace Niger Republic. Diversify into Niger Republic. That's what they're asking you to do. And some of you don't have any sense. Tomorrow you'll be shouting one, I'm a Nigerian. What we Nigerians? Don't you have shame? Call yourself where you come from. If you say I'm a Yoruba man or whatever, Kanuri man, I can have respect for you. I'm a Nigerian. Does it include the 1 million out of school children in Katsina from Niger Republic? I don't know. This UG black, unbelievable. The shameful role of Britain 50 years after the war. Of course, I'll deal with this later. Written by Frederick Forsyth, who incidentally was a spy for MI5, wasn't it? I think it was a spy for MI5. Or was it MI6? I don't know. Military intelligence, I think it's 6. He was a spy for them, but he wrote very well, saying what happened, how the North were boasting. Everything is here. Look at Jubril speaking for the dead Buhari, saying, oh, I fought war. But here you have Frederick Forsyth telling you the truth. And it was the British that fought the war, not Al-Majri. Let me ask people, is Al-Majri more intelligent than an Al-Majri more intelligent than a Biafran? Are they more educated? Are they more, how can I put it, battle-hardened? I want to ask, in what way do you think, how did you come to the conclusion in your life that Fulani Al-Majri were their vassal Hausa states defeated Biafra during the war with a sprinkling of Yoruba officers? Who told you that? Here is Frederick Forsyth putting the record straight. I want to circulate it in the Guardian of UK. It's also here. Ojukwu went to Aburi, agreed a deal. Ogowon went back to the north. The Fulani Caliphate got hold of him and told him, no, don't agree. And that was what happened. The restructuring that should have happened then. This same restructuring now, that my dear father, Paya Adebanjo, is pursuing, the 1963 Constitution, which is the genuine constitution of the genuine, allow people to develop on their own, was what Aburi, because Ironsi and all the coup took Nigeria into a unitary system of governance. They went to Aburi and negotiated to go back to 1963 Constitution. The North said no. They have tasted the forbidden fruit. They said, oh, power is sweet. Oh, power in the hands of one man. Hey, no, we want it. And from that day till today, that's what has happened. And some idiots are running around. I am a Nigerian. I'm a Nigerian without shame, nor any dignity, nor any honor. I'm telling you, unbelievable. Unbelievable. War against corruption at the Africa Summit. Is anybody believing that they're fighting corruption? Hope Uzodinma is wanted for, is it 21 billion naira fraud? They elevated him from the 4th to the 1st, gave him Douglas House, whereas the governor of Imo State, which means forever and ever, he's a Hausa slave. Sorry, how I keep saying, he's a Fulani slave, forever and ever. And some people will say, we'll call him Your Excellency tomorrow because of peanuts. Unbelievable. Some of you without shame. Some of you without shame. The same jihadists, they have bombed the UN office. Have you heard UN say anything? Has UN said anything about the office that they bombed? They attacked UN facility in the Northeast. UN have not said anything. Oh dear. Under Jonathan, the news would have been everywhere by now. Very, very sad. That's the conspiracy that removed Jonathan. Not that I feel sorry for him anyway, because at least it allowed everybody to see the necessity of Biafra and why we had to defend our land. We didn't fight anybody. They came to us and we defended ourselves. We defended ourselves. This is Radio Biafra. We are live and we are direct. The time now is, oh dear, I think it's 4 minutes past. It's 4 minutes past 9 p.m. in the land of Biafra. We are continuing. I don't know if people are tired. Uchaga Philip said we shouldn't stop, we should continue. He was writing on my page, said we should not stop, we should continue. Akanimo Umo said we should. Umo said we should continue, that we shouldn't stop. Somebody said there is no sound coming through. I don't know how true that is. I do not understand. I don't know. They said there is no sound coming through. Okudele Obalago said there is no sound coming through. There is no sound coming through. Jubril ran to, once he came out of the car, he saw Jubril at the banquet. This is exactly how it happened. Once Jubril came out of the car, he looked ahead. They're saying, and saw Yoweri Museveni taking off his cowboy hat. He said, oh no, not me. He immediately ran to the toilet. From there, he disappeared. And they asked Onyema to go and stand for him. That was exactly, he never knew. They asked him to take off his hat. And he ran away. He ran away. The zoo is in trouble. They are panicking. I don't know if the sound is back. I want to know if the sound is back. Please, Ike will confirm for me. On Radio Biafra page, is the sound back? I want to know if the sound is back. Facebook is attacking us. They are wasting their time. I need confirmation that the sound is back on Radio Biafra page, because of course, we have to preach this very gospel. I didn't plan to stay this long on the air, but we have to do it. We have to speak the truth. Always, 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 always. I need confirmation. I need confirmation that the voice is coming out, that there is audio coming out on Radio Biafra page. Mark Zuckerberg and his, who are those working for him in Lagos, they are doing their best to justify the money they took from Aso Rock, but they are wasting their time, because we are live and we are direct. Thank you very much, M1S, one of us from Ishekiri. We told them that they don't know about Biafra. They thought we were joking. Biafra is everywhere. People from Benin are more Biafran than some of us. They want to be free. Biafra is about freedom. Freedom for everybody. We gave the zoo called Nigeria Autonomous Community. It means freedom. If you don't want to stay in your village anymore, you want to answer a different name, you are free to go. You are not holding anybody. They said I shouldn't stop. I must preach this very gospel. I have message from heaven and I must give to the living. That is my job. That's what we are here to do, and we must do it this very night. Until maybe some of you will not be able to come online from tomorrow onwards, because there will be no data. But I think it is something well spent, if you ask me. We are live and we are direct, and this is Radio Biafra. Oh dear. Let us look at Hope Uzodinma and the terrorist verdict that came from the Supreme Court. Who delivered the verdict? The Justice Kudirat. They are part of the conspiracy. A Supreme Court judge, part of a government conspiracy to Islamize and diminish the people. To Islamize and to diminish. That is sound. Thank you very much. To Islamize. A Supreme Court judge. And the husband is an APC chairman. Nigeria. Some people said pray. Pray for who? There will be civil disobedience in Imo State until they call for fresh elections, because the figures do not add up. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. I have with me a copy of the Supreme Court judgment. I have it. I have it with me. And for those of you that may have it as well, I don't know how many people have this very judgment, but I am trying to do the best I can, even doing more than one thing at a time, to ensure I get this right now to my secretary, to Maka, and also to our deputy, to make sure that this is placed everywhere. I want it placed everywhere because I want to analyze it. I want everybody to place this very document, the Hope Uzodinma versus Emeki Ihedioha. I want to analyze it to let the world understand how daft and how foolish Nigeria is. When I call them animals, baboons in a zoo, some people get upset. But I want to justify it this very evening. Anybody with that very document, Ikechukwu has it as well. Our own able deputy chairman for Anamake will circulate it everywhere. So those who can open the documents, the PDF documents can open it. And please, you go to page number 44. Page number 44 of the Supreme Court judgment between Hope Uzodinma and Emeka Ihedioha. I want the whole world to listen to how stupid black judges are in Africa. I want the whole world to understand that the problem we have in Africa is inherent genetic stupidity. I want the world to understand that Africa is in a very sad state because of some human beings who cannot reason. I want the world to understand that what is happening in Nigeria is not a travesty of justice. It is the enthronement of abomination. Enthronement of abomination upon abomination. Please go to page number 44. Go to page number 44. Page number 44. Very, very critical, very, very vital. You go to that. I know some people are telling me that the zoo people are hiding under the bed and listening to this broadcast. They are in dread because they know we preach the truth. That the foundations of the zoo has been shaken, laid bare for the whole world to understand the stupidity of an average Nigerian. And everyone is lower than a monkey, I tell you. It's the truth. Because they cannot reason, and I want to go to their own Supreme Court papers to prove to the world that Nigeria is indeed a shithole. I want to prove to the world that the person you see wearing a horse wig, saying that justice, supreme justice is pure, they are hopeless idiots. They know nothing in their brain. Some say you insult. Why won't I insult? You're an animal. Why won't I insult you? You're an animal pretending you're a human being. I have to tell you who you are. Useless set of people. From page 44, please, if you may. From page 44, if you may. I am reading what this woman wrote. She is the lead Chief Justice. Dear me, unbelievable. Her name is Akarele, is it Kudirat? Her name is Kudirat. Dear me, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let me read it for you. Page 44, please. This is, I'm now reading the Supreme Court judgment that made a fourth placed man to become number one. I've never heard of such before in my life. From number 4 to number 1 in Imo State. And I have, if you know Emeka Ihedioha, you tell him that there is need for him to fight, to keep on fighting, not for his sake, but for the sake of those who are going to be at the receiving end of Fulani rule in Imo State. Let me read. In the circumstances, it's not my grammar, it is theirs. That's Supreme Court, please. Quote correctly. In the circumstances, I hold that there is merit in this appeal. That is the appeal of Hope Uzodinma against Emeka Ihedioha. The appeal is allowed. The judgment of the lower court affirming the judgment of the Governorship Election Tribunal is hereby set aside. They have cancelled the appeal. Court ruling. It is further ordered as follows. 1. It is hereby declared that votes due to the appellants, i.e. Senator Hope Uzodinma and APC, All Progressives Congress, from the 388 polling units were wrongly excluded from the score ascribed to them. Now listen carefully. What this woman is saying, the wife of an APC chairman, her justification for taking away the mandate given to Emeki Hedioha and handed to Hope Uzodimma, is that there were votes from 388 polling units that they were wrongly excluded from the score given to Hope Uzodimma, from 388 polling units. Were they accredited voters? The answer is no. Where are these 388 polling units? Nobody knows. It doesn't exist. But miraculously, and in keeping with the miraculous nature of Nigeria in terms of their hopelessness and their stupidity, this woman and Supreme Court conjured up 388 polling units. They said polling units. How do you know how many people voted in those polling units? 388. How are you sure that the whole 388, that's assuming that they are right? Well, of course, they are wrong, but I want to take them on their own stupidity. You said votes were excluded from 388 polling units. How are you sure that everybody that voted there voted for Hope Uzodimma? And do you know the funniest thing? None of these numbers that they're throwing up were accounted for by INEC, either as a result of accreditation or as a result of cancellation. In other words, they amongst themselves decided to conjure up in their brain 388 polling units. Bumping up the number, INEC said, listen carefully, INEC said the number of people we accredited to vote was 800 and something thousand people. Accredited, both rejected, accepted, damaged ballot paper, everything. And you know what the law says in Nigeria? The law says, oh dear me, Nigeria, oh God, such a very terrible place. The law says in Nigeria that for your votes to count or for you to be considered eligible to vote, you must be accredited according to law made by the National Assembly of the Zoo called Nigeria, the National Assembly. Now, in a court of law that is meant to interpret the law, you know, the essence of court is to look at the law and interpret it. They have now Supreme Court, the apex court in the land. They went to Supreme Court is now saying that what the law says doesn't obtain here, because INEC said we accredited 800 and something. It's 800 and something thousand people to vote. And Supreme Court issued their own number of voters in Imo State and came up with 900 and something. They asked them, where did you get this thing from? They said, oh, there are 388 polling units that should have been given to Hope Uzodimma. But the question is, those 388, were they accredited as the law says they should be? The answer is no. So why are you adding them up? And where did you get the numbers from? Nobody knows. But it is Nigeria. Anything goes. And tomorrow, they'll say, God bless Nigeria, and things will just move on. And they complain that things are not working for them, not knowing that they themselves are an accomplice to the fraud that is happening in the zoo every blessed day. Did INEC exclude votes from 388 units? The answer is no. But they went on to rule. It is hereby ordered that the appellant's votes from the 388 polling units unlawfully excluded from the appellant score shall be added to the results declared by the third respondent, which is INEC. 388 units, nobody knows. No names were given, absolutely nothing. Were they accredited to vote? The answer is no. They were not accredited to vote. Now, Supreme Court, how did you know that all these votes belong to Uzodimma? Did you see any ballot paper to prove it? The answer is no ballot paper exists. Can we inspect the ballot paper upon which you based? Because law is based on evidence. What you don't see, you cannot rule upon. How did you get the 388 polling units? From where? Nobody knows. That's how Uzodimma is in Douglas House today. Just from nowhere, it is hereby declared that the first respondent, Right Honorable Emeki Ihedioha, was not duly elected by the majority of lawful votes cast at the said elections. But INEC is saying that the votes cast at the said elections was 800 and something thousand, and they accounted for it. So where are you getting all these numbers from? Oh, but it's one Nigeria. God has put Opus of them man there. That's what those idiots will say. God put him there. Let him continue. Do you see the mess that IPOB is fighting? Do you see the level of primitivity and hopelessness that IPOB is fighting on a daily basis? Do you see the injustice? Do you also see the evil? That is why we exist. These are the things we have come to correct. These are the things we have come to consign to the dustbin of history. This is why we want Biafra. This is why we need transparency. This is why we are prepared to fight for it to death to ensure that our children and our children's children do not encounter this level of idiocy from a Supreme Court. It's very sad indeed, extremely sad. There are a few special announcements before we bring tonight's edition of Radio Biafra special broadcast to an end. I want to assure everybody who have been raised or brought up to attack Biafra that they are wasting their time. IPOB is exceptionally formidable. Exceptional. Ask Asorok, they will tell you. The zoo is in trouble today because of IPOB. We are formidable to the core. The zoo government of the Nigerian government, that zoo government will keep wasting their money for nothing. Facebook can pull my page down or up, down, or suspend the ban, remove people. They are wasting their time. One thing is certain. They will never defeat us. Biafra must be restored in our time. I want to hastily announce this evening that we have a new IPOB national coordinator in Ireland. His name is Mazi Charles Mbala. Mazi Charles Mbala is our new national coordinator in Ireland. Mazi CJ Duranyawu is the new IPOB Dublin zonal coordinator. All of our exiting officers must arrange an immediate handover of all documentation and materials to the national coordinator, Mr. Charles Mbala, and the new Dublin zonal coordinator, who is Mazi CJ Duranyawu. I also wish to announce that we have a new woman leader in Abia State. Very important. Her name is Chinyere Ozaro, popularly known as Adamazi. Chinyere Ozaro is the new woman leader in Abia State. And on that very note, I wish to reassure our friends and foes alike that we are undefeatable. This very IPOB, this very ordained mission, this very divine project to restore Biafra must be accomplished in our time. Because unlike any other group of people on this very earth, Biafra is our religion. Biafra is our religion. Here on Radio Biafra is where we worship, because Chukwokika Biama Prumi Henine is our God in heaven, presiding over the affairs of men on this very earth. That is why Biafra will come in our time. From me, from here, it is good evening.